we live?
Good morning, Warren County. I'm your host of the show, Kelly Walker Slaughter, and this is Warren First 931. And of course, like we said, and I'm so grateful, the lights have turned on behind us, and we are live at the Caring Hearts United 14th Annual Wonderland of Trees. And yes, it is early in the morning, but we are making it count this morning. And with me, of course, is two great people, and we have more folks coming on the show as well, as promised. But of course, part of Wonderland of Trees here is Miss Melody Crim. We're going to talk to her a little bit more about what Wonderland of Trees is all about and why they've done it so many years and who it goes to. And that's really important. And then, of course, my good friend, Officer Mark Mara, is here. And first and foremost, Mark, you guys do so much. And again, I saw the pictures of the bicycle training class that you guys did with not just local people but out of town people, and it was phenomenal. You do a lot of stuff like that.
We're really blessed with our department. We've got an awesome chief that helps us encourage us to do things like this.
Yeah.
And then we've got shift supervisors that are really gung-ho about getting this stuff done. So that was a really good class. It was really neat getting to see people not only from other agencies, but we also had EMS people come and they ride bikes too.
Yeah.
And they had to get trained, and everybody
13
passed.
Total.
No, that was with the instructors. Yeah, that included the instructors. So we had nine students, and all of them passed. And two of them were with McMinnville Police Department, and we had one officer from Hendersonville, and then a couple others from other places.
Yeah. I thought it was really neat learning one guy was educating me on a turtle walk and what that is.
The turtle crawl.
Turtle crawl. Yes. Sorry. Thank you. And I was like, oh, that's really neat. And I'm like, can we have a class like that in case of, for just regular old civilians,
Yeah, there you go.
But with that said, of course, every year, we've got new programs, but going on right now is the holidays.
It is.
And there's going to be a holiday rush because literally a week from today is Thanksgiving.
That's crazy. Yeah.
And I can't even believe we're here already. But real quickly, so what is the police department going to be doing?
Well, we want the roadways as safe as possible so that you can get to your home.
Yeah.
Right? Or to your destination, your dinners, whatever else. So we've got 2 calendars out for November and December, and we've got dates where we're going to have saturated patrols, especially on the weekends and right around the holiday itself.
Yeah.
So it's for Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's. Okay. And so we've got officers signing up right now as we speak, and they're going to be doing enforcement. So we're doing education with you.
Yes.
Right? And so we're going to be following up with enforcement. So we're looking for speeders. We're looking for distracted drivers, hands-free, law. And also we're looking for child restraints and seatbelts because we want our injury crashes down. And if you're wearing your seatbelt and your child is properly restrained, if you're involved in a crash, the injury is reduced drastically.
Yeah, I totally want to. And do you see on an average, not just here, but just, nationwide, essentially, is the holidays when more accidents do happen?
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
I was thinking about it because it seems like I know that there's an officer with McMinnville Police Department, and he had a family member die in a crash right around Thanksgiving. And there's a lot of people that I talk to that are like, you know what, this is a bad holiday for us because of this and that. And it's really traumatic for a family that loses somebody out of a crash. And it's got to be devastating for the families where the driver is responsible for it.
Right.
The family has to suffer as well from that. So I think we're just going to try to make the road safer.
Yeah. And again, be mindful of that. And you mentioned something about, is there a calendar that people can actually see?
No.
Okay, this is a calendar
This
for
is a
you
sign-
guys. A
right,
sign-up calendar has been issued. Okay.
Right. We've got to count, we try to figure out the peak times of travels
Mm-hmm.
and so that the money is going correctly to get the officers to come out and do the enforcements.
Okay.
But yeah, I had we had posted something on our Facebook page about, we're trying to reduce our crashes. We're looking for speeders and we put seatbelts in there and someone's like, well, what does seatbelts have to do with speeding? Well, if you're not wearing that seatbelt and you're speeding, you got to lock the brakes up because you're coming up on a car. You're not going to be able to control that steering wheel. You're holding the steering wheel to keep you on your seat.
And what he means by that, guys, is simply, the car is made for you. It's a machine to protect you. There's airbags. The seat belts are in place. So like you said, when you lock it up, it locks up. There's all these things in place. And if you're not doing or if you're not in your car properly, it's not going to work properly.
Yes.
And accidents do happen.
They do. An accident is an accident, but if there's something at fault for what you're doing, you've involved yourself in a crash. So.
Yes. But is there any other things coming up with the police department? I know we're talking about Thanksgiving, but is there anything in the Christmas time coming up where are y'all going to be doing anything like a child safety seat check? I know y'all do. You do a lot of those year round.
We do. Yeah, we are trying to do that. We just got some car seats in, some booster seats, but we're still needing more infant seats, and we've got those ordered. We're not asking for anybody to give us any, because we do get it through the state through a grant. So we don't need that, but we do have more coming in, and we've got people that want us to do car seat checks at their places. We still have bike lights and bike helmets to give out to kids.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yep. And then we got some really nice bike lights, the back lights. They're really neat.
Yeah, and for all you folks that are, whether you're driving electrical or not, those lights are very important when it gets dark at night, especially since it's getting darker earlier now.
It is. Yeah.
Have you noticed there's a lot of more bicycle riders?
There is.
I have to say bicycle riders.
Yeah. We almost hit somebody on the way home from the mall Tuesday night. I had the kids in the car. It was here on Sparta, and it was dark, and he was wearing all black, and he crossed in front of the car, and I had to slam all the brakes, and I was like, "Why are you crossing the street at the dark part in your dark car?"
Yeah,
I just don't.
Tips on that real quick. Yeah. While you're here,
it's a law.
Yeah.
So,
is it?
Yeah, you're gonna have reflectors on your bikes, and you have to have a backlight, and you gotta have a headlight. Why would you not have a headlight on your bike?
Right.
At nighttime.
He was walking, but even so.
Yeah, that's
it was a little scary. I was like,
They
dress properly, please.
Yeah, they don't have a lot of laws on pedestrians, but I think if you don't want to get hit by a car, you got to be seen.
Right.
So wear high visibility clothing. You can't jaywalk
gear.
because people aren't going to see you as well.
Right.
And, so.
And if you have a backpack, you can always get those reflector attachments.
Yes.
Or a hat.
Something.
And that's another reason why not to be a distracted driver. Because if I had been distracted, if I had been doing something else, I wouldn't have been able to stop in time. Because we were on top of him. And that's one thing I've taught my kid's in driver's ed. He's learning to drive. I'm like, you're not just driving for you. You need to be driving for everybody around you. You've got to constantly be aware of everything in your surroundings when you're driving because to protect yourself, you've got to make sure.
Correct.
Yeah. And I'm glad you brought that up because, hands-free devices, people are trying to make it so they don't get caught by police. Well, you know what? We're pretty smart. We'll sit up a little bit high so we can see in the cars. I'll ride the motorcycle. Yesterday I did enforcement. I got 4 hands-free device violations in about an hour and a half.
Really?
So I was just...
So what is a hands-free violation? Can you explain that?
Can't hold your phone.
Okay.
Can't have it on your body.
Like in your lap or nothing?
Can't have it in your lap. Can't be just holding it. It doesn't say that you can't use it.
Yeah.
That's why you get the device put on the windshield or
in your car.
Bluetooth or something like that.
I've got 2 of those magnetic.
Yeah.
So people, if you're looking down at your phone, we can see it.
Yeah.
And we'll stop you for it.
Yeah.
And then, we're just trying to make it better. And if it's lower, your reaction time is going to be worse.
Yeah.
Because you're looking lower
because that happens.
Not be visible.
Yeah.
So I have 2 car seat questions because I originally am from North Carolina.
Here we go. She's going to hit you up. I love this. I don't have to ask.
Yeah. So I'm originally from North Carolina, and I know that the rules are different from state to state.
Right.
But I know that in North Carolina, at any time, any day of the week, year, whatever, you could go to a fire department and they could properly install the car seats. Do we have that here?
Listen, I can't say we're better than North Carolina.
Yeah.
But we're rocking in
We're
Warren
better
County.
than North Carolina.
We've got a coalition.
Okay.
And so what we've done is we partnered with McMinnville Police Department, McMinnville Fire Department, Tennessee Highway Patrol.
Yep.
We've got Warren County Sheriff's Department and we've got Warren County Health Department, all formed as a coalition. So if it's cold out, if it's raining, if it's too hot out, and you've got an infant, you want to get a car seat checked, call the fire department or call any of us, and we'll meet you at one of the fire departments where you can actually pull into the bay and we can check that car seat.
Is that neat?
See, that's what I wanted to clarify.
Yes.
The other thing that I know that I believe, I don't know, it's been years since I've lived there, y'all. But when I was living there, it was illegal to sell used car seats because if you get into a wreck with a car seat in the car, it can cause damage that you can't see, and then it would affect it if it gets into a wreck again. I know that that's a big thing to sell them used.
I know, Kelly, you're staring at me. All right.
We talk about this all the time. I love this.
You know,
but it does need to be reiterated because some people miss it.
I'd love to go to a yard sale and see a car seat and just, if I was not working, I have to emphasize that. If I wasn't working, I'd go there and I'd buy it and then I'd throw it away because nobody knows the history on that car seat.
Okay. So then that's still
and they expire and you don't know if they take care of it, if they've been involved in crashes or near crashes where the seatbelts are locking up and stuff.
And they have expiration dates as well on them too.
So we don't have a law on that.
But it's frowned upon because it
is.
So
and that's one of the questions we ask.
And car seats are expensive, y'all. We all know that. And in my poverty stage where I didn't have a lot of money and we were gracious enough to get a car seat for my son's baby shower. And when he was less than a week old, we got rear-ended and I had to throw that car seat away.
Yes, you did.
And I had to buy another one. And it was a huge financial thing. And I mean, I cried about it because I was like, I can't afford this.
Yeah.
But then I thought, you know what? I also can't afford to lose my child if something else should happen. And that's hard. And I know car seats are expensive, but they're expensive because there's so much that goes into it to make it safe for your child, make sure that your baby is protected. I mean, the officer who I was talking to at that accident, he said there was one accident he went to and the parents had secured the car seat in the car with a 2x4. And he had an absolute fit because he's like, doing it too. He said that was like the most unsafe thing they could do. Now, Matt's car seat, because we were in a Buick and the seats were plush, to get it secure and in the right way, they put a pool noodle in there. It was being held in to even it with a pool noodle. The fire department did because they could not get it tight enough.
Oh,
yeah. Well, and that's what, and that is okay.
You guys need to do that. That was a fireman professionally doing it. Don't do that with your own car seat.
Yeah. And that's why you would call the fire department.
We use pool noodles for leveling all that stuff.
Yes.
Let us help you with that.
Right. And that's
it's always really when you need help, if you're a new parent or a parent that's an old parent that is helping out with new kids, you can always call the fire department and they will tell you where to go to set you up with an appointment, like I have done the past 2 times with my kids. And also if I've got a new car seat, we went from infant to this new 360 seat. I mean,
spinning,
the spinning seats. They're making car seats better each and every time. And I want you to know that, like with the coalition, what they do, they actually stay on top of that. I think the only first time I've ever thrown a curveball to them was when I showed y'all a Duna.
Your boy had to teach us how to use
that. That's correct.
Not install it.
But just how to use it.
Oh, he was great. Yeah, he was like, hey, this is how this works.
Yeah.
It was pretty neat.
He's very smart. He's one of those kids who will figure it out, who plays with it until he figures it out. Yeah.
That's what I've told him.
But back on the enforcement, we're doing a lot of enforcement. We're going to be looking for speed. We're going to be looking for people not wearing seatbelts and their children. And do you know that we have car seats in our cars ready to give out?
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot about that.
We have members that are with the coalition, with McMinnville Police Department, and they carry 1 to 2 booster seats at all times.
Oh,
that's awesome.
And I've been to a couple of their child safety seat checks where they have actually seen vehicles that had that needed a whole new car seat. And as long as they have them available, they have traded them out. They took the bad one out and gave them a good one, because that's what it's about, is having all the right and proper equipment for your vehicle to work properly. But again, like you said, the holidays are coming up.
Yeah.
Drive safe, be smart. If you are at a party, I'm just going to say it, if you're at a party and
Please
you've
do.
had too much beverages, please act responsibly. Call somebody, act right.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, be
sometimes people don't
responsible.
know
Be
their
responsible.
limits. So if you see that Uncle Mama is over there acting wonky and running around in her underwear, tell her she can't drive home.
That's correct.
Or go
Sometimes they're in
outside.
denial. Take
Yeah.
the keys from her and say, you need
Take
to go
the keys
take
and
the
hide
keys.
them.
Yeah.
Throw them in the
Because, I
trash.
mean,
You'll never
sometimes
find
people
them.
don't know their limitations and they think they're fine and they're not.
And they're not.
So,
No,
Yeah.
I 100% agree with that. Anything else before I let you go?
oh, I have one more question. Okay, so what is the
Oh.
current booster seat rule? Because I know when my son, who's now 18, was
He
in a
doesn't have to
booster.
be in one.
No, I know he doesn't, but it was 8 years or 80 pounds. What is it now?
When they reach 9 years old and 4'9", they can be out of the booster seat.
And so it's not an
And.
or now, it's
Yes.
an and. So
Yep.
9 years and 4'9".
Yes.
And they got to be both.
Yep.
Yep.
Start measuring your kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I guess, Kelly, I wanted to say one more thing. 'Cause
Okay.
Before I got on the air with you, you talked about it, that the last time I was on the air, you had someone actually talk to you about a comment that I made. And I want to just reemphasize.
Okay.
So I had made a comment, and I said that you, as a driver, your kids are in the car, they're watching you, right? They see you on your phone. They see you not wearing your seatbelt. They see you being distracted. They see you speeding, running red lights. Guess what? They're going to do the same thing.
Yes, they will.
Oh, yeah.
So let's teach the kids right by doing what we're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
So
You as a parent are responsible to help raise the right adults and show them how to drive, how to act, how to be, how to be responsible. And driving is one of those. And encouraging them too, because I'll say this to add to your comment, and two, encouraging your kids to tell them how important it is to be a driver one day. Because I see a lot of kids not wanting to drive, not wanting to get their license. And we as parents owe that to their kids to show them how fun and exciting it can be.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of responsibility with it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Matt is learning how to drive, as I said, and we're going through downtown, and I'm trying to park, and he rolls down the window and leans out the window. He goes, "You're over the line." And I'm like,
Nice.
There we go.
That's good.
Always double check your parents. I love it.
It's like, thank you very much.
But
I'm just telling you, I'm glad you're learning things in school.
But with that
Thank you, Miss
said,
Bragg.
thank you for coming on my show.
Thanks for having me.
And you're welcome to come anytime next week if you want to hit this once again.
Okay, let's do it.
Because we will have, now we won't be on for Thanksgiving, but we
I
will
would
be
hope
on
not.
for Monday and Tuesday show. So be listening in
Okay.
on that.
Hey, and I hope we don't stop anybody during this holiday.
Yeah. That's
Or
the goal.
next
They
holiday.
don't want to stop
And-
anybody.
And my officers will tell you this too. We don't want to work another crash.
No.
So let's try to
No.
reduce our crashes, pay
Yes.
attention.
I always pray for the first responders because I know that when you guys have to clean up a really bad crash, that stays with you. I mean, what you see, what
They
you
see a
have
lot.
to. I can't.
I
even
can't do
imagine.
what they do.
It's heartbreaking.
Yeah. But thank you. And happy Thanksgiving.
Thanks. Yeah, to you too.
All right.
What time is dinner?
You gotta call Sharon.
Trying to get a list.
Call my
Trying
mom.
to get a list of where I
Yeah.
get to go.
Yeah, I'll text you. Like I told
Exactly.
Duke, I'll text you.
We're having lasagna.
Oh,
Oh.
that's a good idea.
That's
So
a nice
my-
twist.
My husband's grandparents died on Thanksgiving a year apart,
Okay.
and
Oh.
he was Italian, and so they had this recipe. It takes 3 days to make.
Dang.
It's 20 pounds of lasagna. My husband only
Go
gets
to her
it once
house.
a year.
Okay, yeah, let's write that down. Yeah.
Maybe
Right.
take-
Hey, listen, if you have leftovers, we
Yeah.
have officers that have to work Thanksgiving. There's not very many places to eat at.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
So
Oh, yeah.
maybe we need to take a
Maybe
up
you
to the
need to
police
do like a
department.
double dish.
Well, it always does too. So maybe we need to go take some up to the police
There you
department.
go. I'll be there eating it.
Yeah, there you go.
All right.
All right,
All
thanks
right,
for
Mark.
having me.
You have a good one.
All right, bye.
All right, guys. So continuing on. Enjoy your day.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, this is a little
Bye-bye.
different than at the other
I
place.
know this is
No.
You can go now, March.
you're running me off.
Into the wild.
Nah. But with that said, we have another special guest with us this morning. Do you want to do it? Do you want me to talk about what? It don't matter. You still taking notes?
Oh, I'm adding whatever we need.
Okay.
He's
We can
always
talk about
taking
Carrying
notes.
Hearts United. Okay.
Go right.
Okay.
He's making a list and checking it twice.
All right. Scoot down, Melody.
Oh,
Scoot.
is he not coming in?
No, we're gonna let
Oh,
him
well,
take more
fine.
notes. We're gonna end on a high note.
Okay.
That's what I always say.
Don't ask me to hit that high note. You're on your own.
I'm going to take a quote from what Brian said this morning when I was like, gosh, we have a jam-packed show today. It's the good, the bad, and the wonderful. So it's gonna be a great day. But with that said, Melody is just one of many females that do Caring Hearts United. One of the many volunteers, I should say.
I saw the co-founder wondering.
I did. I saw Diane wandering around. I think she is.
Oh, she's in the green kiosk. I don't know.
Okay.
She's Dianing.
She's Dianing. Okay. But with that said, it is the 14th annual Wonderland of Trees.
It is.
It has started off with an amazing start with Monday night trivia, Tuesday night karaoke. And again, I apologize. I desperately apologize. And please, everybody forgive me. We had an unscheduled basketball game that got rescheduled to Tuesday night. And I had to make a decision. And so thankfully I have this lady here to be my beck and call when I need to, because she knows I'll do it for her in a heartbeat.
I asked her to be here first, so it only makes that I take back over.
But with that said, again, I heard it was a great turnout. We had a first, second, and third place winner. I also want to thank the select choir group that came out, the kids that came out.
It was not all select choir. Some of it was just choir, and then somebody was somebody from something. I don't know. She just kind of showed up. I thought we didn't have a fifth. And she showed up and said, I'm your fifth. And I'm like, well, woo.
Yay. So again, thanks to everybody that came out. Thanks to Leah Simpson and Miss Catherine to help us get that, and to Canette Dixon for letting us have her people. And, we just couldn't do it without supporting each other and all that stuff. But with that said, going on.
The first, second, and third place performances are on the Wonderland of Trees page if you want to hear them. The Caring Hearts United's annual fundraiser, Wonderland of Trees. Anyway, it's on that page. I maybe just need to share it over to Warren first, but if you want to hear that, then that's where you can find that.
And with that said, as Diane is going around turning on all the lights for the Christmas trees, the mall is up and alive. And if you didn't know, the mall opens up, I want to say a little after. It has to be at 8 because I was in here.
It's at 8 o'clock and it closes at 8
p.m. People are walking. This is the best. If you're looking for a great indoor facility that is climate controlled to walk around, this is a prime spot.
Let me tell you, and those mall walkers, they keep an eye on our trees when we're not here, and they always have. They've always been very good about that, because we have had people steal things off the trees before.
Yeah.
And some folk just raised up different. I keep saying that.
Yeah.
But no, our mall walkers are wonderful, and they just keep an eye on things. And here comes Miss Malia, our treasurer. Is she
supposed to be carrying all that after surgery?
Probably not. She said
she had back surgery for Christmas.
It's not 10 pounds. She said,
okay.
She weighed it first. They're all empty now. She's already taken the money out of the money box, and so she's good. They're not 10 pounds anymore.
Love it. But
she is doing remarkable for having just had surgery.
Yeah, that's great. But how many trees do you guys have this year?
I think I have not gone around and checked. I'm sorry. I think there's 16.
I wanted to say 15 or 16.
3, 4, 5.
Yeah, counting.
6, 7, 8.
I'm
thinking there's 16, but I'm not sure it's right. It's right up in that amount.
But you'll have a lot of trees, and thing about these Christmas trees in the 3-Star Mall is that you can go around and bid on them, and each donation of the tree, whether you donate $50, $100, or $150, once all this is said and done, that money. Good morning, Denise from Tennessee Cow Rescue. That money goes to hospice patients. Now, you guys don't know who it's actually going to, but you just get an anonymous list of their needs.
The hospice units contact us when they have a hospice patient that comes in. The hospice unit contacts us and says, "Hey, we've got a new lady who needs bed sheets." Because let me tell you something: the sheets that you need for a hospital bed are only available during back to school. They're very hard to find because it's the twin extra large. So it's a little harder to find those the rest of the year.
Yeah.
So they'll call us and say that, or this patient has still got doctor's appointments, but doesn't have the gas. Can you help? Or she's needing help getting groceries on the table. Can you send over a food cart, and we'll help. But we also 5 times out of the year, we create gift bags or gift baskets with different items. I never can remember the poem. It's the one thing I can't remember, but it's something to snack on. It's something to keep their mind occupied, something cozy, something to make them smile.
Yeah, remind them of home, knowing that they're loved and they're not alone.
And also because there's like puzzle books in there or a coloring book. So when their grandkids come for that last visit or the last of the visits, because people can be on hospice for years. I mean, it's just what hospice is when there's nothing medically more that they can do to prolong your life. Then the worst way to say it, but death is imminent. Then you go into hospice care. And so the grandkids are coming to visit and they know that grandma's not going to be with them much longer and they're not sure how to relate to her anymore. And it's all very scary. We've had multiple people say, I was able to color with them or I was able to do these puzzle books. And the cards back are just the most wonderful thing. And the other thing I like to iterate because I think a lot of people don't realize it, but hospice isn't just for the elderly. It can be anybody. It can be infants. It can be toddlers, school-age children. I mean, that's the sad realization of hospice care is that anybody can get affected by hospice. And so
that's what hospice is for, so they can take care of anybody that's in need at that time.
And so we have no idea who's getting those bags. We don't know if it's going to a child or if it's going to an adult or if it's going to a mom with 3 kids who's just not ready to go, that the kids still need her and she's having to face the end. And the whole point is to put a smile on their face. And how this got started is Diane, who's wandering around, and her sister, Melinda, who was our founder, Diane co-founded with her. Their mom was on hospice care and they were so moved by how well hospice took care of her that when Miss Louise passed, they wanted to donate money back to the hospice unit. But at that point, they had become a for-profit organization and could not accept that money. So the solution was to create this nonprofit to generate funds and help in other ways. And we actually have 2 Christmas trees that are not up for auction. One that's Miss Louise's, it's pink. They're actually right behind us. And Miss Melinda's, which is purple, and that's right behind us. And it's always emotional. We always cry through this.
It's okay. We don't have tissues though here.
No. I'm not gonna cry today, y'all. But it's a beautiful thing. And we just did the Thanksgiving bags when they started this 14 years ago, there were 38 people, I think. This last time when we did the Thanksgiving bags, it was 780 something.
You got to think about that, guys.
It's a mixed blessing. I say that all the time because we are so grateful that there are that many people that we can help, but also sad that there's that many people that need that help. And it's hard and it's tough. And Malia, that we were just talking about, is Melinda's daughter, one of her daughters, and she's our treasurer.
Yes.
And she's hobbling back out of the mall. I know.
Good morning.
Have fun. So, I mean, it's just continuing now. Malia and Melinda's other daughter, Misty, their kids come and help us. And it's
and then
wonderful.
Misty's kids, her 2 kids, which is the grandkids of Melinda, come and help. I mean, it's a family affair here. And,
and then they drag the rest of us in here.
Yes. But I get a phone call. It is what it is. I'll be here.
There's 4 sisters. So the third sister, Beth Harris, is actually coming.
Phenomenal singer.
Oh my gosh, she's so good. She is coming Friday night.
She is a Patsy Cline cover band lady. She's awesome.
And her husband sings so well too, but it's a little harder to get Brad to do it. But his is more operatic. He's more opera, but it's not quite opera. I mean, it's wild. I love listening to him sing. Aww. But she will be here Friday night. Tonight, Thursday night, is the AG family, which is always
it's always
a crowd pleaser. And these are free. You are free to come and listen. There's going to be concessions. I just dumped a bunch of my Gypsy Soul Fudge into the bake shop, so that will be available. If you missed it at Autumn Street Fair.
What what flavors have you brought, Melody?
Okay, so we're redoing the Autumn Street flavors. These have been in the freezer. They're still good. I found out I can freeze fudge and it's still good for 3 months. So I just stuck it in the freezer because I knew I could bring it up here to Wonderland treat. So we've still got the apple brandy,
which is delicious.
The praline pecan, maple walnut. There's 1 caramel apple left. There's 2 variety boxes left. And I think there's some banana caramels left. And I think that's what I threw in there. I don't know. That was like an hour ago. And
you're fine.
I'm not at top speed. I will not be here the rest of the week, y'all. So if you're coming up here looking for me, I won't be here, unfortunately.
Yeah. She just came in for me this morning.
I did. I'm going back to bed after this. I way overdid it at the beginning of the week and knocked myself out of whack.
It's okay. It's okay. But come on out tonight. Like you said, AG Family, all events have been starting off at 6:00.
Yes, 6:00.
And they got tables set up like right, you can't see it, but behind us, there's tables all set up with amazing chairs.
You can grab a bite to eat at Jay's, bring it out, eat in the restaurant, enjoy the music. As I said, we've got the bake shop going on. Saturday, Santa Claus will be here from 10 to 2.
Yeah, look at his throne, y'all.
I'm telling you, thank you to
I feel like we
Terry
need
Bell.
Brian, you're here. Won't you sit in the seat? Get it warm.
Thank you to Terry Bell for allowing us to continue to use the mall for this event and for allowing us to use the mall decorations for this event, because I'm telling you, I think he's probably unfriended me and blocked my number. I've called him so much. I'm so sorry. I'm
sorry, Terry. We love you though.
We do. But Santa will be here from 10 to 2. And then the Silver and Gold Band will be performing from 6 to 7 on Saturday night to close us.
Yes.
And we are so thankful to have them. As I've said before, Joe Harvey calls them the McMinnville Philharmonic, and I think that is a
great name for them.
I think that needs to be
the new name.
Yeah.
Or at least the adaptive name for us. I mean, when people want to know,
Yeah.
But anything else before we get my last and final guest on?
I don't think so. I think that about covers it.
Okay.
Any information you want to need is at the White Keys. Oh no, I'm sorry. There are 2 more things.
Sorry, you're fine.
When you come in, right in front of the white kiosk are Feel You in My Heart trees, and this is for where you can for $1 donate or put a loved one's name on a wooden heart. You can't keep the ornaments because we do reuse them every year.
Okay.
But you can, in memory of or in honor of somebody, and you put them on these trees and they stay up through the holiday season. This is the one thing we do not take down. So you can put your loved one's name on there and it'll be there for everybody to see. And right when you come in the doors, we do have a raffle. I'm sorry, not a raffle. We can't have raffles. That's illegal in Tennessee.
It is.
But we have a giveaway. For every $5 donation that you make, you can get entered into win a prize package. We have a stocking full of stuff. We have a gift box full of stuff. And this is over $300 in value. I mean, that giant teddy bear that I showed online, I mean, this thing's massive. He was hanging out in my front seat.
Yeah.
He's in there. Diamond Jewelry Company downtown donated these beautiful sterling silver hoops. They're like $70-something.
Yeah.
There's gift cards to all our local restaurants, but each one is different. And you just say, hey, I'd like to donate $5. They'll give you a little entry fee, and then you choose which one you want to enter, or you can do both. Or so that's really awesome. And then in the old Cato stores, now our Wonderland Tree store, they have got all kinds of decorations and gift items. There was makeup still in there as of last night. I think that was 4 for $1.
Not bad. Y'all should check it out.
It's like some high-end brands in there. It's wild. I mean, this isn't the cheapo stuff. And also in our Wonderland store are books. There are 2 huge 8-foot table books that are free. We do ask that if you are able to make a donation in return for the books, that would be great. But there is a ton left. There's some old vintage books. There's some modern books. It's just a wide range of stuff.
Mix of stuff.
So, yeah.
And if you're looking for last minute Christmas decor or anything, they have a lot to choose from.
They have a lot. You could buy some.
I pulled some out for my tree.
Yep. You could see, and you could do that. Mm-hmm. I mean, start planning for next year. If you want to donate a tree for next year, go get the stuff from the store.
Why not?
Yeah.
I mean, we all have it.
So,
but again, thank you, Melody, for keeping us informed and in touch.
And the Warren First tree looks incredible.
Yeah, together we shine. That's always what I say.
There's a Taylor Swift tree down that away.
That's also neat with little bracelets and stuff.
Leanne Brewer always donates so many. She's incredible. But she did a sugar plum fairy tree down there that's all purple, and it is.
Oh, is that what that is?
Gorgeous. It is gorgeous. And also, I know there's a lot going on. August Lowe's and the Porch Jackers are performing Friday night at
tomorrow night.
Theater.
Yep, he's going to be actually on the show first thing in the morning tomorrow.
Maybe I do need to come back
You
out
need
of the
to- if
hiding
you
hole
want-
and hang out with Josh.
That's at Tops, though. We're going to be at Tops tomorrow.
Okay, so then I'll just go to Tops and hang out.
Mm-hmm.
Do we need to get a sensor from him?
No.
Oh,
actually, tomorrow, I'm going to be at the Hitch.
Oh, that's even more fun.
I'm going to be at Kelly Snyder's place at the Hitch.
All right, maybe
with Dolly Parton all behind me. I'm all excited. I forgot. I did agree to that. So yeah.
Okay, so see, there we go.
Because we're helping support Small Town Saturday.
I love that.
Or Small Business Saturday.
Yeah, Small Business Saturday. And
sorry, I'm going to get it right, Jennifer.
It's okay.
But yeah, I'll get there. So tomorrow, come on.
Yes. But there's also the craft show at the Milner Rec Center.
That's correct.
On Friday and Saturday. And then Saturday night in Viola, the Viola Opry is happening. And money from that is going to go help our homeless of McMinnville.
Yes, so many things.
And and that goes toward a lot, because I know that some people believe that if we just bought them all houses, that would solve the problem. But that's not the case. There's a lot of mental illness involved, addiction involved. It's not just so easy as putting them in a house. You have to
put them in a program and easily bring them out of that rabbit hole, as I call it.
And Home has been phenomenal for doing that. They have.
Sheila and them have done a phenomenal job getting people where they need to be.
Yes.
But again,
grateful for them every day.
All this stuff we're talking about, you always can check out our Facebook page, Instagram, and YouTube. You also can check it out on our newsletters. You can also check it out on the Chamber of Commerce calendar as well, because you cannot say there's nothing going on in this town. Let me tell you.
People say that.
It crawls under my skin now when people say that. All right. Are you ready?
Well, before we let Brian on, hang on. I'm sorry. I'm trying to add a flare. Okay. Nope. We've got the first results from Beta. Because Beta is at convention right now, and unfortunately, I can't remember where they are. They have my trailer, so I probably should know where they are.
Oh, yeah.
Huh? Oh.
They're local.
I've gone to that one.
Why not?
Allow me to.
Okay, just scoot down.
While Brian comes in there, I'm just going to say that so far, the Spanish 9th grade winner, one of our Warren County students was on that, and it's Anna Laura. She's incredible.
Yay, Anna.
And one of the math 11th grade winners was Tage Moore, also from Warren County High School.
Shout out to Tage.
Yes, and Tage just finished up his run as. No, wait, I'm sorry. I did it again. There's twins. It was Dakota that was in Alice in Wonderland.
Oh.
Tage was in the choir show. Those two boys are incredible. That whole family is incredible.
Yeah.
So
that's great.
Okay, so
I will say, here, scoot over so he can get it.
It's okay. While we're on Beta, I want to give a special shout out and a special thanks to our own Melanie Crim. She donated a trailer, and one of the things that we don't have is access to vehicles and things like that, especially at the middle school age.
Yeah.
What high school kid has a enclosed trailer? But Melanie graciously donated her enclosed trailer so that our Beta team sponsors Rachel McGee. And we'll put a link below to the information that she's putting out. But Melanie graciously lent her trailer for them to take their living literature set to the Opryland Hotel.
And it's available for the spring show too. I mean, it just sits there, and I'm happy, if the baby needs to use it, Warren Arts has used it. It's
as I say, together we have to work together.
Absolutely. And that's a lot to have to take down there, guys. You have to understand these are massive sets. Massive. And they're normally styrofoam so that they're lightweight, so you can't just throw them in the back of the truck.
But they're still massive.
They're big. But they're lightweight, which goes together hand in hand. Let me tell you something. Rachel McGee is a master at figuring out how to turn styrofoam into stuff. Okay. She impresses me so much.
I need her to do some Grinch cutouts for me.
She's incredible. And this is one of the things that we're transitioning into our next segment. Segment is we're going to be talking about the schools and things like that. And we are blessed with teachers that go out of their way. And Rachel McGee is a prime example of how hard she works outside of the schools, outside of her 9 to 5, so to speak. It's a 24-hour obsession with her. And the work says it all. When you look at how our beta club last year, they came in the top 3 in the state.
We covered that. I mean, they're well, and her daughter Lucy, who's in charge of the middle school beta club, got her mom's work ethic. I mean, they're both. It's great. You get the two of them together, and it's just a powerhouse team. You stand back.
Well,
I love it.
Quick note. Last night I was in Walmart about 9:30, and ran into some of my blessed children that I work with in another organization, and they were so excited because they were getting their last minute stuff to go to beta. So opportunities like beta are wonderful, especially for our kids that can meet the requirements for beta, because beta doesn't accept just any child. And so one of the problems with Warren County schools, and I say problem in a unique situation, beta, because we don't have an honors program like at the middle school level, Lucy is doing a wonderful job by having something that our kids that would be in an honors program are able to work.
Be able to do that.
Yes. So, and it's not a true honors program. Beta is not supposed to be that, but the Warren County Middle School, we don't have an honors program. So thank you, Lucy McGee, and thank you, Rachel McGee, and thank you, Caitlin McKay over at Bobby Ray.
Yes, she's incredible too. We've got so many great.
There's so many people that need to be mentioned. It's like a phone book. Like, let's start with the A's.
And while we're talking about Lucy, I'm going to go ahead and rat her out. But on December 13th, she will be graduating with her master's degree. Again, continuing her education. On top of all of this, she's been getting her master's degree, and she will graduate December 13th. And I know she will be glad to be done with that chapter.
Yes, she'll be done, right? Unless, can you keep going?
She can get her doctorate.
Okay.
A doctorate of education.
I will tell you, like my best friend CJ said, when she went after her master's and she saw about getting her doctorate, and she did it.
Yeah.
She kept going.
Well, I mean, if anybody could do it, it's Lucy. She's got multiple degrees already. And no, I can't name them all, but she's already got multiple degrees. She's a huge asset to the middle school. And I know that they're grateful to have her educating the kids, because she is very smart.
Okay.
And very calm.
Calm. I like what you said. And very calm.
Very calm. She just nods her temper very easily. She's very go with the flow.
Well, you have to be sometime with these kids,
with middle school kids, because.
Oh, I'm just gonna do that. Get in your. Okay, so you want to sit on this one, or you want to watch?
I don't know if I can get up right now, so I'm just gonna hang.
Okay, that's fine.
If I get up and move, it's because I saw an opportunity and I took it.
Okay, no, you're fine. You sit and watch. Okay, so of course, this next segment where we're going to talk about is reviewing the interview that Dr. Swallows held on the radio on Tuesday. And I want everybody to know that, we have got a lot of information to break down for you guys, because I know a lot of you have reached out to us, reached out to Brian, has reached out to Melody, and let us know, like, well, why, this wasn't mentioned, or, hey, can you emphasize on this a little bit more? And the big one that me and Brian are going to push a lot today on the show is how to find this information, where you can find it, how to understand it, and break that down for you guys. Because if you're a parent out there that wants to know your level of for your child's education and where it's going and where we're going as a whole, this is what this segment is going to be about. Also, we're going to break down about the cell phones. We're going to break down about the athletics department, and we're going to break down about the academics at the end. But with that said, I have reached out to Chris Hobbs. I've reached out to Dr. Swallows. I've reached out to Matt Turner. And I know Matt Turner is probably, my prayers and thoughts are with him in autumn at this. I want to start off by saying that, because I know that resigning from the rest of that's the newest thing that we just heard, as a wrestling coach, was not an easy decision. It was very hard. But again, I know for a fact that God has something for the Turner family. I don't know what it is. But I will put this little pickle in everybody's head, because I did talk about this yesterday with Brian. This is a similar situation that happened when, Mr. Paz was the football coach at one point, and then all of a sudden he turned around and he went for superintendent and got it. I don't know if that's what the next step for the Turners are. Don't know, but I can't wait to see what is next for that family, because they are phenomenal at what they do. They are movers and shakers in this community, and I want to see them to continue to move and shake.
Right.
And
wasn't Autumn up for school superintendent? Was she the Autumn that was up for
Yes.
superintendent?
Yeah, at the same time with Swallows, yeah.
Autumn was actually the number 2 for the Warren County school system behind Bobby Cox. And when Bobby Cox left, a lot of people thought that she would automatically, because she was great. She was great at a great administrator, and she was well connected with the state. And so she knew the program.
And the transition would have been maybe, I'm not saying it wasn't smooth with Swallows, but they thought about it would be an easier transition because she already knew.
Well, yeah, a lot of people thought that, but it was up to our school board to make these decisions.
Yes.
And the school board at the time made the decision to go with Dr. Swallows. And,
we don't know the process of the hiring and firing and all that, but the school board, let me say this, because the people are like, well, it's the school board's fault for this, this, and this. Well, I just want you to know, if you're talking about budgeting, if you're talking about policies, and if you're talking about hiring and firing the director of schools, then yes. But if you're talking anything outside of that, no. It does. That doesn't happen.
Yeah, and the problem is a lot of our people that are on the school board don't have a background in education. They don't have somebody that's feeding them information other than what they're hearing from the director of schools.
Right.
And so
they heavily rely on Dr. Swallows, because he is the director of schools, to rely that information to.
So that would be a conflict of interest to some degree. And so one of the things when it comes to politics, and I hate to use that term, but
you have to, because that's how it is.
They're elected officials, so the school board represents the districts that the voters vote for them. So in saying that, we need to vote good people on the school board that know something. And the only person that has any formal education in the field of education is Mr. James Bennett.
Oh, okay.
He's a former teacher and
principal.
So he formally has education. The only thing close to that is we've got our SRO, or the head of the school resource officers, and Mr. Jarvis Johnson.
Yeah.
And he works in the schools every day. So he sees a lot of the things as far as the procedural things every day. So those two gentlemen
have that education,
have that background. The other ones, I don't know, especially I think maybe Mr. Jenkins has more.
Now, I will say this.
Hold on. Okay.
I'm sorry.
Now we're in it. Okay.
Now
let me readjust.
Chris Cope has been instrumental at Centertown Elementary with their PTO. He and I know that's not the same as having a degree,
but the experience is what you're getting.
It's the experience, and as you know, and I know from being on the PTO, you see a lot more than most people see. You experience a lot more.
You find out what parents are involved and what parents aren't.
Yes.
That's the truth of the matter.
I think that's part of the reason why somebody on the PTO falls under the FERPA laws, because they do have such they're so involved in the school, and a lot of people may not realize that, but and I've talked about this before, but for those of you who don't know, that schools have FERPA laws, just like a healthcare center has HIPAA laws. There are FERPA laws which prevent teachers, administrators, PTO members from discussing anything that they see with the students or what students are doing. It's a privacy thing. And so, and PTO members do fall under those laws, that they are bound not to be able to say anything. So I think, Chris Cope probably does have some experience because of how involved he is with the school. If we're going to order it, then I'd say he'd be third under Jarvis. And of course, I can't remember all the other school board members, but I do know that he is.
And all the school board members, they have a background in something that is important and that can be utilized correctly. That's why they're on the school board.
The biggest thing is they need to be educated, just like every parent in the county. And so one of the things and one of the disconnects is that we're not getting a lot of planning from the school system to the parents. If you go on the Warren County website and you look at their strategic plan.
Oh yeah, I pulled that up yesterday, guys, and I was like, okay, while I'm looking up all this information, I'm like, what is their strategic plan for 2023 through 2024 or on? And I saw that it was the 2017 strategic plan that Bobby Cox put on.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just saying, whoever's doing who's over the website, if there's a new strategic plan in place, because I know I'm in one of the things that he did mention in the interview yesterday, big things are going to be happening coming up for the new year in January. Like, would that be the strategic plan? Could you say, on the website, and I know this sounds like so generic what I'm about to say, can they not say coming soon, a new strategic plan? Or take off the old one, or if you're implementing that one, the transparency needs to be there.
Well, I speak from a parent's perspective. I want to know what's going on with my children, just like anybody would want to know exactly what's going on with their children. But we need to see what the common goal is so we can work together. And parents haven't been advised about curriculum additions. They haven't been advised on how they can help their student.
Uh-oh.
And our school board, our school system pays for a ton of different computer programs that our children have access to every day. But I've yet had a teacher come to me and say, hey, look, your child needs to be working on this.
Right.
Just by coincidence, we stumbled across it during COVID. And so I've supplemented my children with programs like iExcel. And
that's a great program if you have not.
And another thing about iExcel is you can go and look at the state standards, the stuff that they're supposed to learn in every grade level for English or ELA, mathematics, science and social studies, and then it carries over into the high school courses that they're tested on for EOCs, end of year courses.
And I will say this, my child is not in public schools. My child goes to Covenant Academy. And one thing that I think we do that's different from you guys in this aspect that you're talking about is the parents not knowing what the kids' curriculum and things are. There's 2 to 3 meetings each year that talk about potential of we're thinking about getting this, doing that, and this is what we're doing. And the parents at that point, they're obligated to show up to this public meeting to be there. And if you don't show up, you can't be that parent that says, well, sorry, I didn't know what's going on. Don't be that mad parent if you don't show up. But they keep us the communication is very, I say, good out there because of that. The opportunities, does the public schools have something like that?
Well, I'll tell you what, this really comes down to administrations, who's administering the processes at these schools individually. And this is where I want to chime in with, hey, it's not all doom and gloom in Warren County. It's not. It is what it is, but we've got to be realistic. And one of the best things that Dr. Swallows has done is he hired Chris Hobbs to be the principal at Warren County High School. One of the great things about Chris Hobbs is he's from Warren County.
Yes.
He could, to my best understanding, he couldn't get into administration and left and went to other school systems like Grundy County and then Franklin County. And one of the great things about Franklin County is that they were considered a 5-score rating on their TVOS, which is what we want to congratulate Chris Hobbs.
And I pulled it up for you in case you needed it.
For their increase in their score. I think last year their composite was a 3. Now they're a 5. So congratulations.
Yay!
You guys,
y'all are stepping it up and advancing and doing. It's just great. Well, and it's shout out to the teachers, the staff, all you guys.
Look, Melody's going to step out.
Okay.
Bye, guys. Sorry. That's not that.
Okay.
Nothing to do with the company. I love you both.
Oh, we love you. Again, thank you.
She's ready to move. She's ready.
My body said that's enough. I got to go.
Okay. You're fine. You're absolutely fine.
We'll send her the shot, I guess.
Yeah, now we're going to fix it. That's why I said, what do you want to do, boo? What do you want to do? I love you. I'll get my stuff later.
So with that, the high school has done a great job of moving up. Now, the thing is, this is about growth.
Yes.
It's not about actual achievement in that sense.
It's not about finding if we're great taste takers and stuff, right?
Well,
I want to ask those questions because, from an outsider looking in on this.
Well, you got to remember, I'm coming from a parent's perspective, but this is what the school system should be teaching the parents.
Yeah.
And that's why we're at a loss. And I'm not the person to be teaching this. This is just what I've stumbled across in my reading. But you can go to the Tennessee Department of Education and find out the ins and outs. Now, you're not going to be able to understand it like somebody who's been formally trained in it. And we're blessed with several teachers that have great great acumen for being able to teach this kind of stuff, but have gone through the rigors of getting doctorates and learning about this process. And the thing is, these processes change. And so in the radio interview that he had, he talked about the change from 2005, changed again in 2010. And if you look at TVOS in 2018, most teachers were upset with it because it was directly linked to their scores, their personal scores, and linked to possible pay increase or decrease. Right. So we've got to take these as they come, but kind of understand this is about growth. And we've moved from a tier 1, which was, the bottom of the rung, to a tier 3, and now to a tier 5. Now, not in every subject. So
we're still improving. Yes. It's going to get there. And again, it's like we said this yesterday. It's not going to, if we could just be, bippity boppity back, I mean, everybody would be doing that, but this is a slow process and we have to be patient and we have to, I understand there's times people can get frustrated and mad with what's happening and going on, but we have to remain patient
and be positive. I mean, these things don't happen overnight, like Kelly just said, but we need to know what we're dealing with realistically. And that's been my advocacy this whole time, is I want to advocate for the reality of where we're at. And yes, I know no child should be summed up by a test score, but one of the great things about, you've got TVOS, TVAAS, which is the growth component, and then you've got TCAPS, which is actual achievement, what they're proficient in, as far as and how they our school system ranks, and where your child is. And one of the things that teachers haven't conveyed to me personally, or there's not been an initiative, is to tell parents how to utilize this stuff, how to go look at
how to find it,
your child's TCAP portal, and look at their scores, and it's individualized. So you can see exactly where your child is. And then if you go back to these programs, like one of the great ones is iExcel. I love iExcel because
we have that at home for Walker.
And we've got another one, a good one called iReady. And iReady is good because it goes with the child. The only problem with iReady is that you can't go back and review. So
you can on Excel.
It's a progressive. So yes, you can do that with Excel. And in our lower grades, which I feel like they haven't got enough attention as much as the high school. And when Warren County's talking about sports all the time, and how we're not good or how we are good or anything like that,
it kind of clouds everything else that is going on that we also need to address. It's not just one thing; it's everything.
Exactly. And so, and the big point is we're going to have to be realistic with where we're at and set goals. And so this is a new thing that the state is rolling out, in the sense that we have what's called the TISA, and that is it's a goal standard, and it's going to have impact on funding education through the state. Right. And with all the things that are going on at the federal level, that may be disbanded and brought back to the states, there should be more dollars that come to the states, and there'll be more positions for people at the state level to direct. So we need to know what's coming down the pike. And so, in Dr. Swallow's interview, he talked about people being political and politicians, and talked about vouchers and things like that. And speaking now, I'll put on my Republican Party hat.
Yeah.
We don't want voucher system. We don't want that. You already have the choice to go send your child. Right? Well, just send your child to public school, or send your child to private school, or homeschool your child.
There's choices.
You have a choice, but the things that Governor Lee is espousing through his initiative is that he wants to give certain segments voucher programs. Warren County is not even on the list for this. This is only for about 35,000 kids, and it's more in Hamilton County, Nashville
in
Metro
like
and
low
Shelby County.
poverty places is what you're getting.
Yeah, so
we are not that. We are a very
have
thriving community.
Well, it doesn't have anything, any effect on us. Those things that Governor Lee is pushing. So, and the thing is the private schools, they don't want public dollars coming in because it comes with strings attached to it. So
there's a lot of I can say this on what I see from the outside as a parent at these private schools as well, and you as a parent, there's a lot of red tape in these schools. When there's so much red tape, they're like, no, never mind, we don't want it.
So back to the politics of things and how we started off, we need good people on the school board that know how to read a lot of stuff. I want teachers, I want people, administrators that have a background in this so they can know, because they know what's really going on. And I think it really comes down to administrations, because another school that has done amazingly well is a East Side Elementary with Mr. Rex Crabtree, and thank you to him and his staff for what they're doing out at East Side, because if you look at their scores a few years ago, since he's been put into place, he's changed the culture of that school, and they've shot up in growth. So they've got a 5.2. So we're really excited about
we're seeing a lot of growth in a lot of our schools around us.
We're seeing some in a few schools, but those have been administration changes. And as much as I love a lot of the people here that are administrators at some of our schools, we've got to be realistic about what's going on. And so,
and how we can, with that being having realistic goals, then we can set, we can finally start getting into the movement that we need to make it better, right?
Well, yes. And so that's why test scores are so important. And look, these TVOS scores should directly affect our TCAP scores. So we'll see.
Now, do you want to show while we're talking? I mean, we don't have to do this in order if you don't want to.
I tell you what, there's so much information.
Because I got it ready. Okay, I'm ready to screen share when you are.
That's all right. We can link these things below, and because it'll take a while, but let's focus.
Yeah, I did want to show y'all the Tennessee school, the education.gov, that one, the Tennessee Department of. It's really easy to get on. And I'm just going to show y'all as I'm going to screen share. If you are wanting to know any of this information, we will share the links later on today. But at the same time, it's so simple and it's so easy. First and foremost, all you got to do is type in I can't look that far as I'm going to screen in here. But you just do, what is it? Tennessee Department. Where we start out. Tennessee Department of Education.
Well, we'll post this link because it starts off with Warren County. But
but I do want to show y'all what the page looks like. I'll do that. But you go to the Tennessee Department of Education, and then you can find your school. But if you don't want to go through the hustle and bustle, good friend right here, he has helped you out with that. And so as I'm going to do my screen share, I want to go here. And share. So this is what everybody should be seeing right now. Yeah, see, there we go. So you can see in the top left-hand corner, it says the Tennessee Department of Education, and this is the Warren County School direct link.
Yes.
Correct?
Yeah, well, this is, if you look at your top, we're number 890 at the very end of your web address.
Okay.
And so that's our designation. That's where we're at. If you ever see 890 or 89, that's generally Warren County schools, and all our schools within that district will be in there. So what you can do is you can go, it'll tell you about the district. And so you can just scroll down, and this, what's really neat, it talks about these two distinctions that we have. And this is the accurate number of children we have. Maybe from last year's numbers, but this is probably the most accurate data you're going to find. And this gives statistical data as far as demographics go. And we have a rather high Hispanic population compared to most counties or most school districts. And you got to remember, this is a district, but since we only have one high school in our district, this is pretty much represents the entire county or the public school system in the county. So it talks about homelessness. If you scroll down just a little more, we have a lot of a lot of things that we have to deal with. If you look at scroll back up just a little bit, you look at 37% of our enrollment is considered economically disadvantaged.
And what I really think's cool about this too, Brian, is when you go on here, you can actually click on, it says tell me more, guys, right here. And then you can get more invested in it and read about it. Because I always say on the show, the more you know, the more we can get better at this. And the more transparency there is, the more we can grow and thrive as a community.
Yes. Now, again, I shouldn't be the one teaching people about this. I just stumbled across this, but this is from the state. And so if you'll scroll back up just a little bit and you go to our
all the way up.
Yeah, go back up and see performance metrics, compare districts. What's really neat is you can go to compare districts. If you hit that. All right. So this is really interesting.
This is a fun thing I got to learn yesterday.
If you look at the district distinctions, if you go to that window right there, hit that. All right. There's 4 designations is what they call these. You got exemplary, which are the best.
Is the highest of the highs.
You've got advancing, which is really the majority of the state, and that's where we realistically can be. And then we have satisfactory, which is.
Would you like me to click on that one while we're here?
Well, you can, and then needs improvement. I'll tell you what, hit exemplary first.
Okay.
And look, it's just a few.
And by the way, our school is going to be highlighted because that's the selected one that we've selected.
Yeah. So Warren County is not exemplary. It's because they'll show up in every one that we hit. Now, go X out of exemplary and hit needs improvement, so we can look at the bottom end. And so.
It even zooms in for me on this one.
But Warren County's not in
We're not in that either.
No. But if you look, there's Canyon County, and Canyon County is in worse shape than Warren County, and so they're having issues as well. But if you exit out of that one and go to advancing.
Gotcha.
Okay, and just scroll in or
zoom in.
Zoom in. So all of the school systems around us are advancing.
Van Buren,
White County,
DeKalb,
Murfreesboro, and Rutherford counties in that one as well.
Coffee County, Manchester, all are surrounding.
So now, if you X out of that one and go to the satisfactory, which is the last, which hit that one. That's the one that we're technically in.
Yeah.
And if you scroll down,
zoom in again.
Yeah.
You're going to see.
Well, like I said, you'll always see
that we're the only one in our county that's under that.
Well, the only one in the surrounding counties that's under that one. So if you scroll down and look, it says Warren County satisfactory. So that's where we're at. So if you'll, this is a comparison tool, and a lot of people use this to see where we're at as far as like
with other counties
compared to other counties. So if you'll scroll back down just a little scroll up and go to
district.
You can go to district distinctions or region. You X out of the satisfactory.
Okay.
And I think we're in. Well, I tell you what. Since we're at Warren County, just zoom in to. Let's look at White County. And that one should be
right there.
You go.
Click on it.
Click on it. Now, if you'll scroll down, now you've got a comparison with what's going on, the difference between Warren County and White County.
Yeah.
And we're at satisfactory. They're at advancing. And
it's okay. It's okay. Come on. This is what the podcast is all about. We can stop.
Are you?
Oh, you got it? Watch out for that. Oh, you got it? And there's nothing wrong with that. Oh. Come on, we'll do an impromptu. Why not? So, if no one knows this, Brian is also Santa Claus.
It's okay. Spider-Man.
Oh, God, love it.
A Spider-Man shirt. Beautiful. Can we web sling again?
Like 5.
Here, you want me to take a picture?
Oh, would you please?
Yeah.
I'll get you with you.
Hey, do the Spider-Man.
Do Spider-Man.
Do Spider-Man. Do Spider-Man. I got it.
Can I get one?
Yeah. You want me to send it to you?
Yes.
I can. Hold on.
Okay. A puzzle.
Oh, what? A Spider-Man puzzle?
Here you go.
Oh, that.
Here you go, Mama. Text that in there. Text your number. Just type in your number.
Okay. I can't see.
Oh, do you want?
I got it.
Okay. Now, do you play any video?
This is what happens when we go live, and I'm okay with it.
Mario Kart?
God love it.
It should be 3044539.
Yep.
Okay, good. Didn't have my glasses.
If not, I'll make.
So happy.
I get your red jacket too. Can Santa have a hug?
Aww. God love it.
Oh, I'm just going to go to next Wednesday. And we're going to have a big dinner at our center and get ready for yeah.
You got a special visit.
Can't wait.
Thank you, Santa.
Bless you. Jesus is the reason for the season. So
I got your picture. I sent it.
She sent it to me. Honey.
Yeah.
Can I get a selfie?
Hey, Dad.
Do you want one? You can have one.
Yeah.
It's a newsletter.
Oh, okay. I'll hold that for you. You want to get a selfie?
Oh, look, a selfie. Aw.
Merry Christmas.
Next. Thank y'all so much.
Oh, you're welcome. God love it.
God bless
Merry Christmas. Doesn't that just warm your heart? Oh, Brian. When they recognize you like that.
I love Warren County.
I know you do.
This is such a wonderful place.
I don't have tissues. Don't cry. Don't break down.
Okay. Ready? Okay. All right.
Okay. Big list. Big list.
Watch out for those elves.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Spider-Man. Okay, we'll see what we can do. I'll have my head elf Bernard on it.
Oh, there you go.
God bless you.
Oh, that's so sweet. Did you see how excited he was when he saw you?
That's what I get to do.
Yeah.
And working with the children's groups that I get to be involved with.
Yeah.
It's such a blessing, and that's the best. That's the best reward.
That's the best.
Oh, amen.
There, you cannot put a price on that.
No, man, that was an impromptu, unplanned.
I was okay with it. That's what this is all about.
Look, I am blessed. I am blessed. I have a wonderful family, and I've got healthy children, and God gives as He gives. And so it's our job is to be a blessing to others.
I agree.
And so that's why I love this podcast and love being on it. And,
Thank you.
The things that
because I have nothing but time today. I know you might not, but gearing back into what we were talking about, this cool thing on here. We'll start back up at the top, guys. When we zoomed in on White County and we scrolled down, you were talking about because they of course they're in the advancing category. We're still in the satisfactory. And I know you've been explaining the difference, but explain it again.
Okay, well, so what you get is you got some hard data as far as what you're looking at. The state determines the advancing and satisfactory categories. We want to be advancing. We would love to be exemplary. That's going to be a hard. That's hard.
We would like to get there one day.
But the thing is we've got to keep going. So it tells you the number of teachers. A lot of times you can take that and divide the number of teachers to the student enrollment, and it'll give you about a 14-to-1 ratio. guys, we got way more. We got a lot of people at the central office that are classified as teachers, and that skews that that number.
And the real number, from what I'm hearing from my teacher friends, whether it's in the middle school, high school, and or the elementary, it's like 20 to 25.
Oh no, it's like 25 to 30.
Okay.
25.
See,
yeah. So, and the thing is that's what we need to really focus on is trimming the fat. Because I'll tell you,
just getting the accurate numbers is very important.
Because another thing, because we talk about funding. So if you'll scroll back, okay, now go to financial.
Okay.
And that's going to tell you the financial differences. We pay more per student than White County does.
So the pupil, is that the student?
Yeah, that's per student, yes.
$10,000 per student?
$10,737.08 per student.
Wow.
Whereas they're about $300 less per student. Mm-hmm. And that's generally about the average across the state from what I've seen. That.
So you're saying like $10,000 on average is
the way they
and is this like their curriculum, teacher salary? I mean, what does this encompass?
Everything. This covers everything.
Okay.
So so the thing is it depends on how you utilize and spend these dollars and programs that work and programs that don't work. I'm all about one of the programs called Capturing Kids' Hearts, in the sense that I think it's pretty common sense stuff, and we shouldn't have to pay a group. And the next step for us is to start auditing the school system and seeing what works and what doesn't work, and how much money we spend on things, because there's just no denying it. With administrations and teachers, we need to have teachers that stay at schools longer than a year or two. If they're fresh out of school, you don't start becoming, and this is from everything that you'll read in all the literature about education and about teaching, it's just like, I'm a nurse. I come from a nursing background. When you come out of nursing school, you don't know anything about nursing. You generally don't know much about being a teacher until you get into it and start practicing your craft,
experiencing it,
and honing it. And so we may not be able to pay teachers as much as a county like Rutherford County, because they have a larger tax base. But we can make Warren County schools the program that people want to go. And if I don't know that you saw it, but if you look at around the Jackson-Madison County area, where I've lived for a while, where I met my wife, and Jackson-Madison County, just like a lot of large school systems, they have their issues, but there's like 4 or 5 exemplary school districts around that county.
Really?
And teachers choose to drive out of Madison County, where they would make more money, to work at these better run school systems. And so that's what we need to do. We need to have a school system that the teachers enjoy learning and working with their principals. They are backed by their administrations. They're not just left hanging out in the wind. And so,
and piggybacking on what Dr. Swallows actually said in the interview, he said that we need to start creating programs where kids want to be a part of it. They want to have, be there.
Oh yeah. Well, there's the academic side, and then there's the social side of things. And so we want them to have the best experience at the social side. And want to come to school. Not everybody is going to college to be an English professor. No. Not everybody's going to be in mathematics. We get that. And I'll tell you, one of the great things about Warren County that they've done is they've been able to retain more students. And so our graduation rate is so much better. But one of the things, and I think it's unfortunate, we use the ACT as a metric. And
I was going to say, because ACT, TCAP, all, they always, I've heard it, but I was not a great test taker. So I know coming out of that, I never scored high. But when you put me one-on-one with a teacher, I was so much better.
Well, we have different metrics to look at things. But one of the great things, and this is just where we're at in the history of the world, is that we're using more computer-based programs nowadays. And the student of 20 years ago is not the same student we have now.
Right.
The student we have now is used to being in front of a Chromebook, is used to doing all of their work just nearly on a Chromebook or on some type of keyboard assisted and computer graphic layout. So in saying that, we've got to have administrations that teach teachers how to teach this technology and teach it forward, teach it to the kids, teach it to the parents, so the parents can work on it. We spend a lot of money in Warren County on these programs, and they can supplement. But if the teachers aren't telling the parents, hey, you need to these are some things that you can do. But I'll tell you, because my children are at the Warren County Middle School, and I have been there. I try to go to all the parent-teacher conferences. Yeah. And last year, it was like crickets. No one, hardly anybody came for the parent-teacher conferences last year. This year, with a new administration change, and hey, shout out to Principal Caleb Sheehan.
Love you, graduate of 2003.
He is doing things this year at our parent-teacher conferences. And our blessed teachers, they didn't have a chance to go eat. As soon as school let out, they had meetings. And since mine are in the 7th grade, and I have one on each 7th grade team, those teachers stayed busy pretty much all night long. Right. And so it was a change in the culture. It was a change in something that they did at the administrative level. And that's really what we have to do. The administrators have to be held accountable for teacher turnover, for the scores, because Rex Crabtree and Chris Hobbs are showing, it can be done in Warren County, which we always knew, but we've got to be realistic with the goals and the expectations and be honest with where we're at.
And one thing, as we keep talking about transparency and things like that, because I was trying to pull it up and now I can't find it, but James Bennett, which is on the school board, he did say that, when, for example, when he was, I can't remember how he phrased it now, but when he was with hiring Matt Turner as the football coach back in 2016, he said that was when it was Bobby Cox and I can't think of his name, the principal's name right now, Principal Walker, and the athletic director at the time was Mr. Wilmore. And he was saying one thing that was really a big thing for that administration at that time was being very transparent and to listen to the community first. And they said when they hired Matt to now the letting go, the firing of my coach Matt Turner, there is a huge stark contrast, which means there's two difference in how he was hired and how he's fired. And, and I think that's what the community, at the end of the day, if Dr. Swallows or Chris Hobbs and all you guys are watching this, I think what the community is really needing from you, not just with the academics, but also with the athletic department, what is going on. And I know you're probably sitting there saying, Kelly, well, we email and we send out notes with the kids and we do this and we do. And let me tell you, I get that 100%. I'm a parent that has to go on Class Dote with our private school that we go to at Covenant. I have the cell phone number of the teacher. The teacher sends paperwork. The teacher emails and messages on Class Dojo and on this thing called Fax app. That's how they communicate with us. And as a parent, it is my job to make sure to look at all of those that have been laid out upon me as the parent to get that information. And I don't know if you might and this is just me thinking outside of the box for parents like you guys, maybe the administration needs to do a countywide or maybe break it down into schools. What can we do to communicate with you better as a parent? Because and I know there's a lot of outlets, but you have to do that as administration that is helping raise these adults, showing them how to be responsible. You as an administration have the responsibility to have to unfortunately tackle all these things. So if you have to show somebody, for example, when it comes to getting the word out about an event or a project, for me, not only do you need to utilize the podcast, you need to go on the radio stations. You need to contact Ben Lomond. You need to contact the Southern Standard. You need to contact WCPI. You have got to figure out, and also too, social media, all the different social media outlets. So as a media marketing person, I know if I'm taking on this job, I can't just do everything on Facebook.
Yeah. Well,
right? I'm trying to figure out a good example.
Well, I'll tell you one of the best things, and I'll tell you a stark contrast of what we had in our organization with the Warren County Middle School.
Yeah.
One of the great things that we have is call outs, like robocalls or something.
Right. Yeah.
That's one of the best ways to get in touch with everybody in a quick way.
Because what do we all have?
Yeah, everybody's got a cell phone.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I appreciate Dr. Swallows for the stuff that he does, and the principals.
I love when we get those messages.
Oh yeah, we love it. We love it because we're and we might go.
And I get those because really I need to know what's going on. So that's why I'm on there.
So last year my daughters were in 6th grade and they were on the same team. One of the beautiful things about the team that they were on is they had a Remind app or some type of app that they were using.
I have that as well.
And they gave us they sent us the homework for that team every day, and we knew exactly what, when you saw the homework, you knew exactly what your kid's going over, what your child's doing. Now that they're on another team in the 7th grade, well, they don't do that. Or at least if they do, I'm not getting any of the message. Yeah. So I'm having to ask my children every day, what's going on? What are you doing? It's just like most kids, nothing, or
same old, Mom. Yeah. I mean, we read, we wrote, we spelled some words.
So as a parent, you may not get a lot of feedback from your child. And so having, and that's what I like about the IXL program. I can look at what the state standards are and see where they should be or what they should be going over. Now, I need the teachers to link me and say, hey, look, this is what we're going over. And so, and some people say, well, they're 7th grade now. They need to be doing this on their own. But I really enjoyed having them in the 6th grade, sending me that stuff, and those teachers and that team.
And maybe, and then again, that's something that as a parent, you can address, like, hey, this happened when we were in 6th grade. Why are we doing this now? And I also understand, being in the middle school, I'm going to play devil's advocate real quick, that they're in 7th grade. They should know. They should start taking on some responsibilities, right?
And one of the great things that I agree 100% with Dr. Swallows is children need to struggle. They need to find their own outs as far as like how to do things. It's just like tying a shoe. You don't consistently tie the shoe until they're 18 and out the door. Right. You got to let them struggle and figure it out themselves.
And have a wonky shoelace at school and trip and be like, okay, I really need to focus up.
So, and the thing is, our blessed teachers, I'm sorry we haven't praised you enough in this, because the teachers of Warren County have the greatest sphere of influence.
They do.
The way the teachers go is the way the county goes. So anything that we can do, and we have a lot of parents that aren't involved. And just what we were talking about with the PTO, you find out who's involved and who's not.
But then also too, I don't know if this plays a role in it. When we went to that website, when we screen shared, that 37% of the kids that are enrolled are economically
depressed.
And that also might play a role in it. And I say this, there is ways to get parents that are in that situation to be involved somehow. You just gotta do it.
Well, schools have changed a lot, and we're facing a lot of issues that we didn't have to face before. Used to be, and you can look at some of our country schools, and I say country schools, our county schools. You look at a place like Dibble or Irving College; those were the centers of the community. Those are where you went and voted. Those are the places where they had productions and basketball games, and all the entertainment for that community was structured there.
Right.
And we've kind of gotten away from that because of the things that we have to deal with violence and all the other issues. Schools are being set up more like military installations where, they're gated. They have to know exactly who you are.
You have to be buzzed in. You have to have your ID. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
So there's a lot of things that we're all facing together, but that's the operative word, together. So we need to get parents more involved, and shout out to the schools that are doing that are getting the parents that can to come. Parents want to help. The ones that have some means, they want to be able to help. So we just want to encourage the administrations to open those schools back up. I know COVID shut down a lot of stuff and caused us to reevaluate.
And it still has put not just our schools, it's systemically happening around the counties, around the whole United States of America, that COVID has slowed everything down. Schools, businesses, it's happening, and people are slowly trying to get back to where they can. Will they ever get back to where we need to be? I don't know.
It's just like 9/11. It changed the world of the way we see it.
Correct.
So that's okay. We've got to move on now, and we've got to quit blaming poverty. We got to quit blaming
COVID.
We got to quit blaming COVID. We got to quit blaming teachers. We got to quit blaming parents.
Yeah,
we've got to be realistic.
Quit blaming students too. I want to put students in there because I hear that sometimes. Like, do you realize your kid doesn't like they are just too difficult to work? And I'm like, well, then why are you teaching? Isn't that your? I say that because I've been in that situation.
Teaching
before.
Parents, the way we do discipline. But one of the things that we have to have is we have to have administrations that back their teachers.
Yes.
And if your teacher's young, you can't expect them to know how to manage a classroom their first year.
Yeah.
Generally, their first few years. So let's give them some grace.
Yeah.
Let's help them out. But we want to retain. And like I said, schools that one of the things that you see that's indicative of performance is retention. And with the schools that have low retention or they do poorly, the schools that have high retention, they generally do better. And it's because these teachers know what they're doing. And so shout out to again, Chris Hobbs and Rex Crabtree for what they're doing. Irving College, I think they had a composite 4 score. So there's some good things, but the majority of the schools, we've got to step in. We got to be honest with ourselves about that. And that's not being ugly. That's just being honest.
Man,
I'm
there
Warren
you go.
County all the way.
So Warren County High School, they processed from level 1 to level 5. East Side was a level 1 to a 5. Irving College a level 1 to a 4, and Centertown Elementary went from a 1 to a 3.
Okay. So we've got some good things going on.
We're moving. I like to see the movement.
But we can't. We've got to do well on the TCAPs. That's ultimately what we're
talking about TCAPs, and then we'll move on to the athletics. Because we can talk about academic all day long, which I have no problem with that. And if anybody that's listening to this that may be more proficient than us, that would love to come on the show, whether that's a school board member, I would still say this, put my hand out to Dr. Swallows if he wants to come out here and kind of do stuff. Even I wouldn't care if Autumn Turner came on and if she wanted to talk, because she is very well proficient in this as well. If anybody out there that's listening that wants to come and sit with me, and I will promise I will not make this a hot seat whatsoever for you. I want to learn just as much as the community, because one thing about our show is people call and reach out to me and say, Kelly, have you heard about this? Can you talk about that? Can you look this up for me? And I'm literally turning into a Google essentially. and I want to make this, break it down to where I can simplify what we're showing you now, what we're talking about now. I know it's a lot to take in. And I think if we had I'm not saying you're the wrong person, you have been phenomenal, but if we had the person that is actually made for this job to talk to me about it, like even if somebody from the Tennessee Department of Education that's put this website together wants to come on, I mean, how cool would that be?
Well, look, we've got some people that work for the state at the Department of Education that I'm not going to call out any names, but please enlighten us. We want to know these things. We want to be able to espouse them and get them out there, because we want to make the scores go up. We want to be a mover
and a shaker in this movement.
We want our children to graduate high school where they have the skill set, where they can get good jobs to take care of their families. Ultimately, that's what it is. It doesn't have to be going to college. It doesn't have to be anything that's highbrow in the sense that we're shooting for the moon. We just want people to have the best skill set that they can have, to enjoy the program, but learn something at the same time that's going to make them a productive,
I 100% agree,
adult out in the community. And we want to keep them here. We need doctors, we need attorneys, we need electricians, we need truck drivers, we need diesel mechanics.
And if y'all don't see the amazing things going on at TCAP, man, oh my gosh,
that's another great thing that we have to offer. So when we have these programs, that retain students into the school. So that's one good thing that we've really been getting at. So thank you for those, and that's primarily at the high school level with Chris Hobbs, but all those great teachers.
Dual enrollment. Look at that, parents. When your kid is like, you see that they're invested in a certain a job that you see that they might work at. See if there's dual enrollment that's available where they could go do some TCAT while they're at the high school. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know how that works. My children aren't there yet, but I'm excited and I can't wait to get there. And we've just got a lot to look forward to. We got a lot of things going on.
Nissan's partnered up with TCAT to make this, the robotics building.
Hey, you look at Motlow and what they're doing with
gosh,
Larry Flatt. Hey, man.
Love you, Larry.
Thank you so much for what you're doing, because they're not just getting students to get into these programs at the base level. They're having corporations fly people in from around the world.
That is correct.
To come to Warren County
to teach.
Well, no, not just to teach, to learn. To learn. They're being trained here in Warren County.
Students from out of state.
I love it. And these aren't these are adults. These are people who work in fields in the
and they're getting retrained, right?
They're getting trained to do this because we're on the cutting edge. Thank you again, Larry Flatt. Thank you, Motlow, for everything that you're doing.
Bye, buddy.
God, love it. This is wonderful.
I'm so glad you came today.
Look, it was the hand of God.
It is. And that's I always love this stuff.
And I apologize. Look, I don't want anybody to get it twisted. Everything I want to do, I want it to glorify God. So if you feel like I'm being critical, I'm not trying to be like a jerk. I don't want to be a jerk. When I say when it comes to politics, I'm the most conservative liberal and I'm the most liberal conservative. We have more.
I love how you said that.
Well, that's the thing. We have more that unites us than what divides us. So we have to use logic in our steps. And so I don't want to be anything but glorifying the God.
And you just want to be moving.
And so look, and so because I want my children to have what's going on at the Beta Club, and we talked about one of the. I don't know if it was Tage or Dakota Moore, but
I think it's Tage.
Okay, those kids are incredible, and they've worked really hard. They've had to supplement a lot of stuff. Now they've had a lot of great teachers along the way, but I know how hard they work. I know how hard they work outside of school, and it's just incredible.
And see their growth,
and their mother and stepdad have worked extremely hard to get them, and they're great little actors, and then their younger sister, she's growing to be a phenomenal little actress.
I cannot wait.
She was in Alice, and we're just very blessed to have such wonderful students that are doing it, but we've got to challenge them. And so that's another thing that we need, especially at the middle school level. We need an honors program. Why? And I'm going to go ahead and tell you one of the big reasons why he won or placed so high in the math competition is because he was in the last class at Warren County Middle School that took algebra in the 8th grade.
Wow.
They've cut that out. And I've heard multiple different reasons of why they did it, but we need to get it back because kids that are, they can only teach to the most common denominator at anything, because you got to get the majority. You got to work on getting the majority through. So that's one of the great things about these computer-based programs is they can accelerate the kids where the teacher is still focusing on the middle. You got to move the middle.
And you're reiterating about the IXL and stuff. It's a great program. And if you're like, well, what is it really? What could you compare it to? And I don't want to compare it to this, but I am. It reminds me a little bit about ABC Mouse, but better. But it's better.
It's geared for that student, and each grade level is different because you learn different things, different skill sets, and different grades. So, and they come with their own diagnostics and things like that. So, we can go. Hey, Jenny.
How many people do you know, man? Is your whole crew here today?
No, I tell you though, I need to come here more often.
I know, right?
Good morning, McMinnville. Good morning, guys.
Oh my God.
Yes.
So real quickly, as you know, and again, just reiterating, and a lot of this stuff that we're talking about is reviewing and going over a lot of the stuff that Dr. Swallows talked about. He talked about the cell phones and how they're going to and I can't remember what the bags are called.
They're called Yonder pouches.
Yonder. Okay. At Yonder Bricks. Okay. So these pouches, these phone pouches, I'm just going to call them that because that's what they are. the kids are going to be responsible of these yonder pouches, just like their Chromebook. So when they go to the high school, the teachers, he was saying in there, quoting him from this, he said that the teachers are going to start asking them, like, hey, Kelly, do you have your Chromebook? Yes, ma'am, I do. Well, can you also show me your yonder pouch? Even if they don't have a cell phone on them, and they say they left it at home, which again, he said, if there's not a cell phone in there, it's a little suspicious. Like, you gotta have, but some might have left their cell phones at home, or in their car, which is totally fine. And so they're going to be responsible for that Chromebook and that pouch till the end of the school year, and then they're going to return it in. And so as parents, we have to, just like we did with the Chromebook, we have to tell them, well, you're responsible for this. Make sure you take care of it.
Yeah. I think one of the things about the yonder pouches is when they got the idea to do it, that was like a good idea. But the thing is when they started without the yonder pouches.
Yeah.
And they've already done one.
Exactly.
And from my understanding, a lot of administrations are using totes from Walmart that are far cheaper than
these yonder
exorbitant
pouches.
Amount of money that the system has paid
and
for
I
these.
don't know exactly how much the yonder pouches costed, but I heard it was a big number.
Well, and that's the thing. We've got to look at waste. We've got to look at things, because with that money, oh man, if we can get some more teachers on that money, if we can do some other stuff with that money,
special classes for maybe kids that are on the spectrum that might need something, maybe.
Look, we've got to look at where the money is going. So things like yonder pouches, we'll see. I mean,
I want to see how this plays out, but again, like he did say, quoting him, he said, right now the teachers are saying what they're using now is working out great, and to my note to that, which I would like to ask him if he was on the show, then why would you change things? But I know they probably already have paid for these yonder pouches, and it took this amount of time to get them in. And he did say that they're going to start implementing them, I believe he said, after the holidays. And then of course, between now and the Christmas break, it is going to get a little chaotic and shuffled. And he did say,
poor teachers, I'm sorry.
Yeah, bless you, teachers, but be patient.
Yeah.
When a new process comes on and it shakes everything up, please be patient with the students and the teachers. Mm-hmm. And then if the students don't understand how these yonder pouches work, or the parents for that matter, please educate them. Mm-hmm. For, like we just talked about with the academic scoring and stuff. When new things come, please communicate that information.
Yeah. And making videos is great. I think that's probably look. Do you remember the Ice Bobby video that went around? Yeah.
Those were fun. Come on.
Yeah, maybe some more of that, because anytime we can see things, we live in this information age. That's why, look, man, you can't go back and find the radio interview.
No, you can't with that.
So, and to my understanding, mainstream media is going to change into a podcasting.
Hopefully
they will.
2025, Chad did say right before Swallow's game on that 2025, there's going to be bigger and better things to come. Mm-hmm. So again, we have to wait and see on stuff like that.
Hey, welcome to the 21st century.
But like I said, if you ever want to hear what we say over and over, you can go back to that said video.
And look, one of the cool things about the podcasting, and if you look in the links below, I'm putting links, and we'll leave all the links to what we've been talking about with TVOS, with TCAP, with Tennessee Department of Education.
Actually, I can do that right now while you're talking.
The district window. So these are all things that that we want to make sure that and I think that might take them to the comparison with White County.
Oh, do you want me to go back? It's
all right.
You know what? We'll help you figure it out. If you need help, I'll figure it out with you.
Hey, listen, it's not that hard. It's very user friendly. So, and you'll learn. It's so insightful, especially when you get into the metrics of looking at where our children are scoring. When it gives a number of how many kids exceeded expectations, how many kids met expectations, how many children are approaching expectations, and how many are below
expectations.
And this is the TVOS, and so you can look at the Warren County as a district. You can add schools in there. There's just so much, and it can be overwhelming. But hey, look, we got to keep trying.
We got to keep staying informative and staying transparent, because I'm telling you, we thrive better. We move quicker together when we're all on the same page, because when we're taking the steps together, it works better. It just does. But ending on the interview, he did tap on about Coach Matt Turner and a couple of little highlights of it, because we won't go into great detail, because I feel like we did hit a lot of those points on my show Monday about how people are the emotional side of it. And with that said, of course, he talked about the Pioneer football team. First and foremost, it was a winless season this year, 0-10, but he did go on saying that he was very proud of the young men that finished the season, including the coaches and the staff that also finished the season, because it's not easy being on a team that loses. But I do believe, I want to say on to that note, the reason that so many people stayed is because of Coach Matt Turner, because he went to these individuals and he talked to them and said, hey man, hey buddy, we really need you. We can do this together, and so I think that's where everybody doesn't get to hear or see what Coach Matt Turner did internally with these boys and talking with them and getting personal with them on that level. And then, and he also talked about, and we've said this throughout the show, he used it with the academics as well, is that students need to have some hardships. They need to go through struggles, because they learn a lot with hard learned lessons. And I did, I know Brian did, we all did. And he gave a lot of shout out and praise to the principal, of course, Mr. Hobbs, the athletic director, Lippy, and, making this decision they talked about going non-regional, and that took a consistency of the principal, the athletic director, the coach. And then he said, once they made a decision on what they wanted to do, and keep in mind, I said the head coach, I'm going to say the head coach. So Coach Turner was a part of the non-region decision on talking about it. Now, I don't know if he was for it or against it, but going non-region consisted of those three men, or those three positions, let me say it that way. And then the principal, Hobbs, went to the director of schools, Dr. Swallows, told him what was going on. And then Dr. Swallows said, okay, let's do this. And that's all what happened on going non-regional. The school board, once again, had no decision making in the non-region, in case people go back to that. This consisted of going non-region for the next 2 years, the 2 years post seasons. We will be going non-regional, playing a schedule that, what I have talked with the people that have heard this, this is going to be a better schedule for our boys to grow on, to move forward in. And one person, which will be named nameless, that I've talked to, that is heavily in the sports community, they said that what they hate seeing with Coach Turner being gone is seeing they might not have they definitely won't have a losing season, but they'll have a better winning season. And him not being a part of that, having that opportunity to do those 2 seasons, or at least that 1 season with the boys, so he can say, look at my work or something, even though that's not how Matt Turner is, not so ever, but again, that is what the community has been saying, that having Coach Turner just even show what he's capable and able of, because of the simple fact of the big thing that we have been hearing, not just from Dr. Swallows, but from Chris Hobbs, from Ben Matheny, from James Bennett. And that's just to name a few people that's a part of the school systems and the administration. They have not said one negative thing about Coach Turner. They've not said how bad of a coach he was, a bad leader. I've not heard any of it. I've heard praise, and more praise. And I think what the folks are thinking of is, if you have somebody, if you're wanting to do a reboot and a reset, is it because you want to go in a different direction? Is that what this is for? Or are you trying to find a better leader, I think you need to if Dr. Swallows wants to go back on the radio, or whatever the case may be, or come on here, or put out a press release, I think the community needs transparency of what are you looking for? Because and I'll say this now, if you put in a press release saying we need somebody that's a good communication skills, great leadership skills, works well with students, works well with others, pretty much all the qualities that Matt Turner has. What was wrong with you? You know, you need to make sure when you put in there what qualifications you're looking for the next coach for the Warren County football system. You need to make sure that, and I say this very delicately, I am a pioneer, true red, white, and blue right here, okay? We had a similar situation happen with our football program when I was at the school. And they hired at the time somebody within that was already working under that head coach. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, okay, this is not new. So are we just going to have the same thing? Mm-hmm. So I would really like to see the administration hire somebody that is neutral, that has no ties to Warren County. Maybe, I don't know, but that can really make a difference. I don't want to see, I'm sorry when I say this, and I love you guys, and I think y'all done a phenomenal job, okay? This comes from a good place. But I won't be surprised if I see that an assistant coach gets the position. I won't be surprised when I hear that, let's just say that there's surrounding schools right now that I know that a lot of coaches have retired from football. Mm-hmm. And, I won't be surprised to see if we get somebody maybe pull him out of retirement to come work with us. I don't know. Mm. And again, I just don't want somebody that is familiar as much. I see the pros with it, like with Matt Turner, he was a familiar person. He worked for the school. He's been a pioneer. But if you want to start fresh and do a true reboot and a true reset, mm-hmm. you can't just let go of the head coach. You need a whole entire, this is me. I'm just saying, and if I'm speaking truth, people just help me out here. You have to start fresh with everybody. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying let go of the athletic director, but as far as the football program goes, maybe getting all new, fresh people.
Well, in most administrations, what generally happens with a football coach, especially the head football coach is the last one to go. They generally fire the offensive line coach or
defensive. This is in the NFL too. That's how they do it.
Or the quarterback coach, mm-hmm. or whoever. And so
they go down to up.
Yeah, they generally do. Yeah. And one of the things that I see, and then a lot of people, this may or may not be the case, but we've seen what Coach Turner can do with a CJ Taylor at the helm.
Yes.
We saw it.
We had a winning season.
Well, we had our best athlete mm-hmm. was the quarterback, and he did a phenomenal job. Mm-hmm. And then when you look at the competition that we face, man, Mount Juliet. I lived right around the corner from it for a few years, and when they built it, when they got it going, oh my!
They started early.
They were in the state championship mm-hmm, just a few years ago.
Yes.
When you look at Oakland, when you look at all the growth that Murfreesboro has, and all the because we're in even Cook.
Oh, thank you, Sarah. She let us know. Thank you so much. You can actually watch the Town Talk show with Dr. Swallows on YouTube.
Oh, awesome. Well,
thank you for sharing that.
Well, thank you for putting the link in there so we
can. And that's Justin Reed's wife.
All right.
Shout out.
Good deal. That is great.
Yeah, I didn't know.
Didn't know that either. So look,
there you go. You can see the whole thing. Thank you.
Good. I encourage everybody to watch this.
Watch it, and then
because you'll hear straight from, and I don't want to
straight from the source.
The source.
I always say straight from the source.
I say straight from the horse's mouth. But I don't want to. I want to be ugly.
No,
I'm not trying to be ugly. I'm just
that's the phrase that we use.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, don't be sorry. We live in McMinnville. It's fun. No. But moving on with that, they did say letting go of Coach Turner or firing Coach Turner. It was not the easiest decision. It was a very tough decision. And I want people to know that, and he did also talk about how he was so grateful to see the outpour of love from the community, mm-hmm. because that's what he says that he wanted to see. And with that saying that, that's one of the questions I kind of wanted to ask him about. Okay, so how are you going to help smooth this with the community, to transition with the community, not just the school, not just the students and the teachers, but the community.
Well, I think timing is everything. And I think, everything is happening
for a reason.
I'm glad these scores are coming out, because this has been a dark cloud over Warren County for sure.
It has.
But I guess timing with this, Coach Turner, what a lot of people don't know, because wrestling gets a back seat, but he's run a powerhouse wrestling program, and they've got a young man who looks like he's going to be a state champion this year in his senior year, who's incredible. And to lose your coach that you're going in, I mean, the season's just getting started.
It is.
And then for that,
those wrestlers that were there, I already know of one that transferred.
So this was very bad timing for that. They could have waited. You could have waited until after at least the wrestling season, until Coach Turner was finished with all this stuff. So, I mean, just saying.
Yeah.
I'm glad.
Timing is everything.
I'm glad Warren County Schools, or Warren County High School, is a 5 score on their TVAS, and I'm glad that East Side is.
Yeah. East Side Urban College, good job, y'all.
Yeah. So,
but continuing on, with that said. And one thing I did appreciate Dr. Swallow saying in his interview yesterday. He said, he is not going to shy away from controversial topics. And that's one thing I would also like to add on his applaud list. Like, if you need to reach out to them, you can contact their communications coordinator, Sarah Cantrell, and let her, know what you need, and then she'll get with you and go from there. And I know, like right now, with everything going on, the holidays, I know that Dr. Swallows was just coming back from conferences last week, going into this week, and he's playing a lot of catch up. And just like they say on Jimmy Kimmel, I'm sorry, Dr. Swallows. I know you've got a busy schedule,
Sorry, we couldn't get you on today.
Sorry, we couldn't get you on today. But with that said, if there's any ever questions, I reiterate this all the time, that you want us to address with him, feel free and message me at 931-305-0869 and let me know. Message us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all of that stuff, because we want to be transparent on this show, and we want the community to know what is going on all the time. And I am not shy of talking about hot topics whatsoever, because we do have one more to go before this, and I cannot believe we talked this long, but it is what it is, and I'm going to eat at Jay's today. But with that said, he did say once again that this was a long process, that the coaches and the principal and the athletic directors was talking about. And I do also want to reiterate that the school board, they were elected in that position. You voted for your people for policies, the hiring and firing of your director of schools, and the budgeting. Okay. And then, and so I say this all the time because I think I need to. The school board did not fire Matt Turner. And again, James Bennett wrote a beautiful, amazing little thing that, again, I got so much going on my phone, I can't pull it up, but we will share it on our social media today for you guys so you can see it. But to reiterate what he said, he was a part of the hiring process of Coach Matt Turner. And, he saw all the great works he did with the students and the special needs classes. And a lot of people don't know Matt's story, and you should, because he come through with a lot of hardships and a lot of hard lessons that he learned to why he's coaches the best that he can today. And that's why the community loves him so much. Mm-hmm. But there was a stark contrast between the hiring and firing of Coach Matt Turner. And he did say that in his statement. He also said that one thing, when it was Bobby Cox and Mr. Walker and himself and the board at the time, they were really big on transparency with the community. And that was one thing he wanted to get out, and I wanted to make sure to tell y'all. But with that said, the coach, Dr. Swallows did say that with the changing of the coaches going non-region, all the families that are involved, the community that is involved, the big thing he says, we need to find somewhere and come together so we can work together. And I think that it should be highlighted. And it's just like my show. I say it all the time. We need to, be as one. And that's where the transparency goes. And with that said, I wanted to read, and then I'll move on to our last big one because you can help me with it as well, because it was one of the big topics starting yesterday morning. Let me go to it right here. Okay. So I asked Dr. Swallows 10 questions, and I still haven't heard back from him yet, and I hope I do. And so I just want you guys to know what I asked him. So in case you think I need to send more, I can, because I'm not afraid. I said, Dr. Swallows, can you elaborate on the factors that led to the decision to make coaching change for the Pioneer football program? Question 2 was, how do you feel Coach Matt Turner's tenure impacted the football program and the students at Warren County High School? Question 3 was, what specific qualities or experience are you looking for in the next head coach? Question 4, can you discuss the planned changes to the football schedule for 2025 and the 2026 season and how they will align with the school's goals for the program? How does the administration plan to address the mixed reaction from the community regarding the coaches change? Because that was a big one. Question 6 was, in what ways do you believe a new coach can contribute to revitalizing the Pioneer program? Question 7 was, can you share any insights on how the school plans to support the student and athletes during this transition program? Because a lot of students have come out. A lot of players have come out. A ton of former players have come out. If you haven't read the Brad Durham newsletter, I have to give him some shine on this. He done an amazing article with former players that was under him, specifically talking about the CJ Taylor was on there being one of them. And then question 8 was, how do you envision the new head coach maintaining the values and life skills that Coach Turner instilled into these players? Because that's another big one a lot of parents wanted to know. And then the other one was question 9, what steps will the school take to ensure that the new coach is a good fit for the team and the community? Because I think that is something that does need to be addressed. And lastly, my last big question was, looking ahead, what are your long-term goals for the Pioneer football program under new leadership? Okay. And so I say that, and those are the questions that I emailed him on Monday night. So with that said, I know he's already had the interview. I have reached out to the communications coordinator, Sarah Cantrell, again yesterday, or it was on Tuesday, and I reached out her via text message, and I said, just, is he going to be able to do an interview with me? Because I really would have liked him to come on today's show. I really would have, because again, I don't like putting anybody in the hot seat. I try to make it as comfortable and home as possible, because transparency is key. And if we can get everything out there that we can, because I understand if there is any, I'll say this, I understand if there is any red tape where we can't talk about it, then I don't understand why no one can't just tell me or tell the community that, listen, there's a lot of things going on right now that we are not allowed to talk about at this time. I don't know how it works, but something needs to be said.
Ultimately, it doesn't even need to be Dr. Swallows answering these questions. It needs to be your athletic director. They're the ones,
Chris Hobbs, or Principal Chris Hobbs, right?
It should be the athletic director. That's their job.
Okay.
That's their job of hiring the coaches and firing the coaches. That's their job. So I don't know why, and I don't know how much of input Dr. Swallows is even supposed to have at that point.
Or has it all, yeah.
Because he's supposed to be the top administrator. He hires other administrators to do these jobs. And so with the way this is, really, guys, it's a debacle. It doesn't seem like it was handled very well. Yeah. And that's why there's so much. I feel
like it was rushed. It was a rushed decision. And that's what the consensus of the community thinks as well.
Yeah. Well, that's why we're seeing so much, even, we're several days out of this story and we're still talking about it. Another thing is shout out to Chad Graves for asking these questions.
And Justin Reed, on Town Talk.
But like if you look at the Warren County schools, go look up their strategic plan. We'll put a link. We'll put a link to
I'll put a link to all this today if you guys would like.
These are things that parents need to know, and we need to know that there's a plan. Just like in this case, there needs to be a plan going forward. There needs to be a plan in place now or then. And so, like I said,
and if there's a school board member that knows there's a strategic plan that would like to let us know, and if we're allowed to even know, it would be great.
Oh, look, you go on any, nearly any district's website, they should have a strategic plan. Now, I don't know if that's state law or anything like that, but the thing is they have to have something on there. And so if you go to
maybe
ours,
why they have the 2017 from Bobby Cox.
well, it was like 2017 to 2022 or something like that.
It was a 6-year strategic plan.
And everything has changed, especially since 2018. A lot of things have changed. And then with COVID and everything. So, we've got to get with it. And I don't know that hiring a director of communication is going to help anything with that, because again, our communication is pretty lagging, when it comes to. So, I'm not trying to be a jerk or anything. I'm just talking about the reality of the situation.
And I know they're not here. And at the same time, I know that the there's more issues than just academics and athletics. There is is that me or you?
That's me.
I can hear it. I was like, what is that? What is that? But with that said, I will tell you this. As of right now, this is going to be, for now, the last talk we were talking about with academics and athletics for now. It's not that I'm saying I'm not talking about it ever again, but we have to move on. There's so many other things going on in the community. Speaking of which, this is going to be a short one, I hope. So yesterday morning, I was notified by 3 people that they heard that there was and again, this is from the community, this is not from anybody else, that they go, Kelly, have you heard about the double homicide? And I go, no, I haven't. And then I get another one. And then when I get the third phone call, I call Jackie Matheny Jr. And I'm like, hey, Jackie, I'm sorry to bother you right now. I know you're probably busy. And he's like, oh, yeah, I am. And I said, I've got 3 phone calls stating that there is a potential homicide. And he goes, I cannot confirm or deny, but I can tell you that they're on their way to go into a situation, is how he said it. And I was like, okay, thank you. So that's why when I went on my Facebook page, I posted what I posted, because that's all we knew at the time. And I know there is a lot of chatter going on right now. And of course, and it's so crazy that I can give some credibility to McMinnville chatter this morning, but I can confirm that there was an incident in the Mary Oaks Road area. And I do know that there has been 3 individuals that are unfortunately deceased now. We do not know why this happened. We don't know how it happened. But we do know that there's 3 individuals involved. And also to you guys out there, that whether you're on McMinnville chatter here or whatever, I learned this on working at the radio station. The names will not be released. I don't even know the names. And that's why no one knows the names right now, because the families need to be notified first and foremost. And so we need to respect that process. I want to say that we need to respect that process, because even the news channel 5s, 4s, and 2s that reported this last night on their shows, they don't even know. I'm telling you the exact same thing that was on the show. And until we get a press release from Chris Stafford, our district attorney, that's going to also be, and with Jackie Matheny, all them working together in this, because they did have to pull other folks down to come help investigate. And I do know that in the neighborhood, the neighboring areas of the incident, they were getting questioned because that's part of the process. But as soon as we find out something about, these 3 individuals that was involved in, I'm going to say it was probably a tragic accident. but we don't. But again, I hope and I pray, we pray for these individuals. We pray for the families. We pray for the people that are investigating this right now, that everything does its due diligence. I can't say it.
Due diligence.
Thank you. Thank you. We pray that they do what's right and they get everything and they figure out. What I can say is that as a community here in the Warren County community, we are not at any harm. There is no, and that's a good thing, because if you think about it, if somebody's on the loose still, if these 3 individuals got hurt or whatever the case may be, I would want to know, like, okay, who do we need to be looking out for?
Yeah.
But we have been very fortunate in that we are not at any harm right now. And so if I say this, like I say all the time, we will do our best to stay informed and to stay on top of it, like I always promise. And when we hear something, that we are allowed to divulge the information, because I always wait. I'll tell everybody this, the process of Warren First. I wait for a press release. I wait for a verbal command saying this can be let out. And let me tell you, when I see stuff go out in the community and I'm like, wait a minute, I didn't get anything, then I know that they went through other protocols, and that's fine. But I can promise you, here at Warren First, we are going to be patient. We are going to let the police and law enforcement and everybody need to do their diligence in how the process and procedures go before we release this information. And that's just how it will be.
We're not professional news anchors.
No.
We're not commentators in the sense of we're your neighbors.
I'm technically a professional broadcaster. Yes. I have 15 years of experience.
You've got the experience.
So, but with that said, thank you, Brian, for coming on the show. This has been one of my longest podcasts, but it had to be, because I wanted, as I call it, I wanted to put the athletic department and the academic, because unfortunately, because of the situation with Coach Turner, it opened up the academic talk with a lot of people. It became a hot topic real quick. And that's why I wanted to have Brian or somebody that knew what they were talking about with the academics on the show today. And if we get any more information about the athletic department, what's going on, the academic, if I get Dr. Swallows, anybody that, again, I welcome you to my show. My door is always open. You can, if you don't feel comfortable being face to face like me and Brian do, I've done phone interviews where I just have my handy dandy phone, because we all have them, and the microphone's pointed down. I've done that. I've made it work. And I will say this, because I know a lot of people don't like it, but I do it because I want to make sure my listeners or my interviewers are comfortable. If you're out there and you're like, man, I don't want to answer questions just, off the cuff. If you would like me to send you a list of questions that I may ask you, that's what I go off of, I will do that too, to prep you. I'm okay with it.
If you're not comfortable with improv, you can always have a script.
That is fine. I'm absolutely fine with that. But I want, my big thing is on this show, guys, not just what we talked about today, but anything in the future that I talk about here on out, because 2025, I'm going to be introducing a lot of new things, and fingers crossed, I'm still praying for a brick and mortar place. That is my biggest one, is having a establishment where people can come in from the community and see what it's all about.
A studio, Kelly?
Yes.
Something like this.
I mean, why not? But with that said, again, be thinking of all the things that we've talked about today. We got another amazing show tomorrow. We're going to have, we're actually going to be broadcasting live another pop-in podcast at The Hitch, the general store, with Kelly Snyder and them. Kelly may not come on with us. She might. I hope she does, because she has no problem talking either.
Come on, Kelly.
But with that said, we're going to have her on the show. We're also going to have Josh Moore with August Lowe's on the show, because they're going to be a part of the first local connection at the Park Theater, where local bands are coming to the Park Theater and playing, and they're going to be just one of the bands actually performing tomorrow night. The Porch Jackers is going to also be playing tomorrow night as well. We have a ton of events going on, and I would have gone over them by now. Well, you know what? Why not? We already have done it. We've already over.
Let's do it.
Let's just do it. Okay. And by the way, I want to say this as I do my thing. The newsletters are out. You can get a digital copy sent to you if you just text the keyword local voice to 931-3050-869 and make sure you send your email so I can send it to you. And by the way, I have figured out how Ben Lomond and DTC folks and one other one. I can't remember the other company. I figured out how to send it to you now. So you guys are going to be in my special group, as I call it. But of course, the big headline of the story is about letting go of Coach Matt Turner. And then it also has on there, if no one saw the poll question, I did do a Facebook poll question, and 88% out of the, I think it went over 200 something odd votes, said give Coach Turner his job back. And 12%, and I will say, and the naysayers, 12% said no. They wanted to hire someone new. But with that said, we also, with our Guinevere Jacobs, she did a story about, is it summer, is it winter, spring, or fall? Because this weather has been so random. And so she did a nice little hiking walk, and she did a great piece about the beautiful weather, how it's hitting Warren County and all the stuff that's new to bloom in this season as well.
Oh, look, we had cherry trees. Oh,
Warren
County is
so
one of the most beautiful places on earth. And with all the trees that we have, we've had a lot of beautiful colors this year. And then a lot of flowering trees and plants
blooming.
came out because of the warm weather.
It's what it does. And then also a shout out, because last week, the Warren County Youth Leadership, which is all junior based high school students, did a whole big swing last week, meeting and visiting people and seeing them and what they're about. Good morning, Christy, or good, actually lunchtime now. But we did an article about that with the youth leadership. And I will say I was one of many folks that got to talk to them. And I want to say a thank you to whoever that girl was that said that I was one of the three that was relatable. And I was like,
nice.
That's really coming high. I was like, I'm still relatable.
You're cool.
I'm cool. I'm accepted. Yes, that's what I thought. I was cool. I made it. But with that, it just took me until I was 40 to become cool. I was not popular in high school whatsoever, believe it or not. But with that said, also to Main Street McMinnville is doing a survey. Go on Facebook, go on Instagram, click on the link. If you want the link, I also have it in here. You can type it. It's a 20 questionnaire survey, and they didn't come up. I wanted to reiterate this. They didn't come up with this survey. The state that does their grants and stuff comes up with this survey, and you're going to answer questions. And one of them being, would you like to have a theater in downtown? And I'm like, we already have one. So they don't know what they're talking about. And so, because I love our Park Theater.
I put a lot of other stuff in there, filled things in, because when I took mine, it was some of the options just didn't seem specific for our downtown.
To our town. Yes,
we've got a unique
100%.
downtown, and look, we've got a lot of great things coming up. Especially, can you believe we're 1 week away from Thanksgiving?
I know. I cannot wait for turkey. I'm so wait. I can't wait. I can't wait to go to my 3 destinations this year. I'm ready to eat. Loosen the belts a little bit, as I say. Also, too, going on, and again, thanks to our Business Buzz feed sponsors, which of course is the Chamber of Commerce. A big ribbon cutting is coming up tomorrow on November the 22nd at the Rock Island Performance Horses, and they train horses. It's really neat if you haven't seen it. And I didn't know we had that.
Huh.
So again, these red ribbon cuttings are very fascinating, and you guys need to come out. And it's going to actually be at their facility at 11:30 tomorrow, starting at or located at 1273 Rock Station Road in Rock Island. And if you guys want to know more about the chamber, just like I say, contact me. You are welcome to contact them anytime. There's Jackie. There's Jackie. There's Oh my gosh. I just thought Lakeland, and Melissa, and they're actually currently right now at the chamber looking for a fourth employee to be an administrative assistant that they're looking at right now. So again, please do that and call them at 473-6611 if you want to get to know any more. And I want to give a shout out. I'm just going to go through my newsletter. I want to give a shout out to Kai Damon and Laura Slatton, two of one of our amazing athletes that signed scholarships with schools. And of course, a shout out to Slatton. She is one of our championship D1 golfers. And again, she signed with a D1 school, a college.
Oh, that's
UAB. Mm-hmm. And I want to give some love to, while I'm on the show, we have 4 dogs in needs of homes. Please look at that Second Chance page. Please look on it on Facebook and Instagram as well. And, and just think about it. They need a home or a foster place just to get out of I've been at the animal control place, and I know they're working on a new facility, but the way they have it made, the dogs are all together, just about, not in the same bin, but it's so loud back there. And some of those dogs, one of them being my little boy Mork from Mork and Mindy.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Nanu.
Yes, Nanu. He is such a sweet spirit. If no one sees him, you need to go and just walk with him. Take some time with my boy Mork, because he does look intimidating. He's got pit in him, and his face is big, and his eyes are a little catty-wonky, and he looks intimidating, but he's not. He is such a lap dog. He wanted to get in my lap when I took him to the doctor's appointments, and I'm so appreciative. Holly and them reached out to me to do that, because it gives you another aspect of what is really going on around, not just academically and athletically. There's dogs are in
Fur
need.
babies are important too. Yeah.
So with that said, continuing on, and Melody kind of hit up on this. Wonderland of Trees. Again, thank you for letting me come today, guys, and taking over the 3-Star Mall a little bit. This weekend, on the 22nd and the 23rd, is the 53rd annual Warren County Arts and Crafts Fair that Homeland puts together. And then, of course, we're going to talk really highly about the local connection going on tomorrow night. And then continuing on this weekend as well, because it's so tiny for me to read, but it is what it is. This weekend, a guest speaker, the Reverend Tommy Hayes, is going to be speaking about a harvest of healing. And that's going to be located at the Martin Chapel Fellowship Church, which is also part of downtown.
And that's 3 nights, right?
It's 3 nights, I do believe. And I was
Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
It's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday night this weekend. Followed by that, we talked about Home, where they're having their band come out, bringing the Gap, Home to Serve, or Here to Serve. And that's on the 23rd from 5 to 8. Make sure you make plans for that. Next week, there are a ton of events, but I'm not going into them. You can look them up. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. And literally flipping the papers to flip the switch. Flip the switch. All this. Pageants are going on. Christmases in the Village is going on. Nativity scenes are going on. Daryl Worley is coming to I do need to make a mention of this, and I'll end on that. I have 2 tickets to Daryl Worley, courtesy of Joe Harvey and Ashley and them at the Park Theater.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. With it said, the way to do that is go on Facebook and Instagram and see how to do it. There's 3 easy steps. First, you got to follow us on any of our socials, any of them. Secondly, you need to tag 3 of your friends. And lastly, just in the comment section, write #WarrenFirst931, because why not do a shameless trending hashtag? I need to start building it.
Yeah. Well,
I'm not going to lie why I put that.
Another thing, you guys, I don't care where you are in this. I mean, you'll probably be towards the end if you're looking at this.
Yeah.
But put comments, tag people, make sure to like us if you're on the YouTube platform. Like us,
YouTube, Facebook, and
share,
Instagram. Yes.
Share, subscribe, do all this. We need we need to spread this out.
We
Algorithms get locked in.
Thank you. So yes, algorithms are horrible.
So every comment that you make helps us out. Every tag helps Warren First 931,
and it helps us spread the word out. I say this. Be a part of the solution and not the problem.
Listen, we've got a great community here.
We
Kelly,
do. We really do.
I love what you're doing.
Thanks.
I'm honored that I get to come on and hopefully help Warren County.
I'm honored that you want to come on this show because people like Brian, people like Melody, people like even having Mark Mara on here. This is what the show is for. You guys are the ones that continue the show. And then not me.
This is live action. This is improv.
Oh, literally.
We're talking, and that incident that we had in the earlier.
You had to put Santa hat on. Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Isn't that just?
Oh man.
Tugs at your heartstrings.
Yeah.
You just love that stuff.
So, yes.
Be a part.
Thanksgiving. Yeah.
Thanksgiving can't get here soon enough, man. I will end on. I want to say this. Brian, with Thanksgiving being next week, I'm only going to do Monday and Tuesday on my podcast next week. So if you're out there and you're like, oh, I got to get on, Monday and Tuesday's your days. Because Friday morning, even after eating all that turkey, Mama wants some sleep. Oh. I'm just saying, when you eat all that turkey, you go in a turkey coma.
Kelly, is it sleep or are you going on Black Friday shopping?
No, I don't. I hate Black Friday shopping.
I don't do it either.
Praise Jesus. Okay, all right. Now, nothing against Black Friday shopping, y'all.
No.
But I had a bad experience. Please. I had one bad experience and I was over. But also, too, when he says shop local, make sure you check out the Small Business Saturday. That's on November the 30th. And I'd say this, just go through, check it all out before you go shop online and do all that other stuff.
Gift certificates to local restaurants like Gondola and places like
that.
Good
stocking stuffers.
Yeah. Now, in saying all this, one of the things, and it's just leaving me. Oh goodness. No. It's about Thanksgiving. Oh, yes. If you look in the comments, I tagged Westwood Church of Christ.
Oh,
they are having a free Thanksgiving dinner. But they really want you to RSVP beforehand,
so they get a number.
Know how much they need, and they are doing deliveries. I do believe that's one of the things I love doing Thanksgiving here. Although I don't go to Westwood anymore, I like going and picking food up and taking it to folks and telling them, so this one thing me and my father-in-law like to do. It's our tradition now is going to Westwood and helping serve. So if you can't serve, call Westwood Church of Christ. Their number is down. You can find anybody's number these days.
Call them, RSVP, go to their Facebook page, RSVP. Click on the link that Brian did put in there, RSVP.
And if anybody else knows of any other places, link them in. Put a comment in and link it. You can copy the Facebook link.
I did on Facebook. I had a post saying, does anybody know of any free turkey, Thanksgiving dinners? So I can talk about it on next week's Monday and Tuesday show.
And please, if you have any food banks, if people are doing this, that are giving away boxes of food, things like that,
let us know.
Please let us know. We need to get those boxes into the right hands.
Will say, if you are not, if you have not heard about Mr. Perry's food ministry, Saturday is coming up, and every Saturday at 11 o'clock, they hand out food. And again, this is a whole, he has a great volunteer group of people, and it's in the campaign area. If you want more information about that, then somebody that is in need of food that might be embarrassed to go get a box, and you want to go get them that food, do it.
Yeah.
Because if you know that person's embarrassed and you know that they need the food, look inside your heart and be like, you know what? Well, I'll go and get it and then deliver it to them. And the thing is, when you go to Perry's Food Ministry, they're not carding you. They're not saying, oh, you look fine. They don't kick you out. They don't turn anybody away. Anybody. And I am not ashamed to say, when I went to their last time when I did the interview, I got orange juice. I got cinnamon rolls. I got cookies and cream ice cream that they had, and I was like, and I kept saying, "Are you sure? Because they were handing it to me."
Well, some of the stuff goes to waste if it's not utilized.
And it does.
We've got such a need here in this community.
We do.
I mean, you saw it from the statistics. If you go back and look at what we were looking at with the
37%,
37%. Yeah, there are families in need in Warren County.
There is.
And I would rather have too much than not enough.
That's correct.
So if we can get this food into the right hands, that's what we want to go.
That's all about it. Yeah. And I will say this. I got an overflow of so many things that when I went to this birthday party and I was talking to some people that were there and I heard their stories, I'm like, do you need some OJ? Do you need some chips? I got them in the back of my car still. You want some? And they took some.
Hey, can we do on Tuesday's show? Do you mind doing an I'm thankful segment and letting everybody put in what they're thankful for?
I think that would be great.
We can even read them, the ones, if we do it post ahead of time
I'll do that
to
today.
read them. And you guys, we live in the greatest country on
we
earth.
Really do. In the greatest community, I think.
Amen. And look, we're right here in the Bible Belt. We've got so many wonderful people that do so much. Our churches are such they're the backbone of our community. And so there's no other place on earth that's like
that I'd rather be
like Warren County, Tennessee. And so we have a lot to be thankful for. Thanking God first for what He's allowed us to live in this community and be part of this community. We could have been born in any part of the world, any moment in time, and God has chosen us to be here at this point in time. So let's be grateful.
Let's be grateful for it and enjoy our walk around the sun, as I say.
I like that. Enjoy the walk around the sun, especially on a day like this where it's beautiful.
Exactly. But I'm hungry now. I haven't had breakfast. No, don't be sorry. I would not do this show as long as this was without people like Brian and Melody and everybody that came on. I knew today was going to be a long day. I hope everybody take care. God bless. Enjoy the rest of your day. And remember, Warren County, keep it first. Bye, guys.